The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look at my soul. I've been afraid I would follow alone. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of Running Point, presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown. Ron Potesta with you alongside Anthony Hardwig. The winner of today, without any question, Mother Nature.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mother Nature's the winner today. She just wiped out everything, and I do mean everything in terms of local tournament baseball.
And you want to run down, I mean, every regional game that was scheduled for today has been postponed for tomorrow. That's JFK in Strongsville, South Range in Massillon, Canfield and Salem and Canton, and
That's it.
that's it. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's it.
I was-
Matthews, but
Matthews
they were in the
is
same
right.
in Strongsville.
That's why okay. So
Yeah.
they've all been postponed for tomorrow, and the other update with that is because it's postponed. The idea that we had yesterday of if JFK and Matthews both win, the game would be played at Scene. That can't happen anymore. Scene has prior arrangements, and so Scene won't be able to host that regional final if that were how it broke down. Matthews and JFK both winning. Now JFK has said that the final place of that game, once again, if it were to happen, is not yet determined. So it could still be somewhere local. It could just stay at Strongsville. We don't know.
Yeah, and obviously make it happen first and foremost. I just don't assume anything. But as far as tomorrow goes, Canfield and Salem will now play 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. The winner plays for the regional championship game Saturday morning at 11 a.m. at Canton Glen Oak High School. South Range and Gilmore Academy will play at 5 o'clock on Friday. The championship game is going to be on Saturday. No idea when the championship game is going to be played. That's going to be determined. By the way,
Yeah, we just don't know what time. I mean, for sure, it would probably just stay one day after.
Oh, yeah, it's on Saturday. We just don't know the time. The Division IV baseball regional games at Strongsville, they've been postponed. Matthews and Tiffin Calvert, JFK at Columbia, they're going to play tomorrow at the same time. So, what was it? Matthews playing at 2, JFK playing at 5?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. So, Saturday, if Matthews and JFK both win, and it's an all-local regional championship game, it won't be played at Scene. That doesn't mean that we can't find a place and a home in the Valley for this game, but we'll
speculations would probably point towards Fitch. That's not a confirmed thing, so I don't want to throw it out there as something that is happening. But you would think that if they wanted to stay local, Fitch, the all-turf field, would probably be the go-to destination to host that game.
Yeah, it's and it goes up to what we talked about yesterday. If you've got two teams in the Mahoning Valley in the regional championship game, why in the world would you have them both drive to the western side of Cleveland to determine the regional championship when you can find a place in the Valley that would be better suited? Now, whether Matthews can beat Tiffin Calvert, whether JFK can beat Columbia, that remains to be seen.
Let's not put the wagon before the horse. You know what I'm saying? Let's just make sure one of our teams and the other local team can kind of make that happen, and then hey, we'll have some fun here locally and not have to travel the west Cleveland for a regional championship.
Yeah, but today it becomes quite a busy day for
Tomorrow, yeah.
for the area tomorrow, or at least for our neck of the woods.
We'll have the South Range State semifinal in Akron for softball at 10 a.m. There's a game at 1, 2, and 5. I believe those are the times. It might be 1:30, 2, and 5.
Okay, who's at 1:30? Because I know South Range and Canfield and Salem are at 2 o'clock. South Range and Gilmore Academy are going to be at 5 o'clock.
It might be Today JFK was scheduled for 1:30. So
okay, so then it is 1:30.
Yeah, it'll be 1:30.
1:30 and 4:30 for Matthews, but yeah.
Oh,
but,
okay. Yeah,
okay, so 10 in the morning, the South Range girls will be playing their state semifinal game.
Yep.
At 1:30 in the afternoon, Warren JFK will be playing Columbia Station. I'm still not sure. Is it Columbia Station High School or is it Columbia High School in Columbia Station, Ohio? Who knows? But JFK plays Columbia at 1:30. You have Canfield and Salem playing at 2 o'clock, and then you have South Range taking on Gilmore Academy at 5 o'clock.
That means tomorrow, while you're on air, you're going to have 2 games start while you're on air.
Yeah.
You have to do the live updates and try to.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh, by the way, we confirmed this morning. Youngstown State University football coach Doug Phillips will be in studio tomorrow at some point, and we'll talk some YSU football with the head football coach of the YSU Penguins.
And then when you start, we should already know if South Range is in the state championship or not.
This is true. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they beat Johnstown and they get to the state championship game, and hopefully, I'm hoping for this, a 2016 rematch between South Range and Wheelersburg. That would be great.
We don't root for, well, we do because we're homers for South Range, but we definitely root for storylines. And as far as the Wheelersburg game goes, if Wheelersburg won that, it would be a really fun storyline for that next game.
Oh, I think it would be. And again, we said this yesterday. None of the kids on the field would have even been in high school when South Range played Wheelersburg for a state championship back in 2016. But
it's
still,
close
it would have
enough
been fun.
that they know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when these seniors were freshmen, there were still a lot of people on that roster that played in that game.
Absolutely.
And the coaches definitely know.
Oh, absolutely.
So the experience is close enough to linger there. And I think that'll be an advantage for South Range.
Absolutely. Last night, Colin Floyd made his debut with the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. He started in last night's game.
I saw that score. That was an
ass kicking. Is
talk
what that
about
was.
getting some offensive support for your first start.
Yeah. Well, they took advantage of the fact that Frederick pitchers gave up 11 walks, and that's becoming a bit of a trend in this league.
This league is starting to walk a lot of people.
Yeah, it. Unfortunately, there are some guys that, stuff-wise, they're good enough. Guys will throw in the low mid 90s with a fastball, and they have the stuff to pitch in the pros. One of the reasons why they're in this league is because, you got to cut the walk rate down. There's a couple of more than a few guys that need to cut their walk rate down.
You have to think that in their college career, their high school career, their walk rate wasn't that high, or else they wouldn't have gone to the college they went. I mean, no one recruits a kid that can walk 11 hitters in a game.
Yeah.
So what do you think is, like, you've seen it? I mean, are they pressing because the pressure's on to do well in this league to get drafted?
I think that a lot of these pitchers
sometimes command comes from trying to aim the ball a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So do you think they're trying to try too hard to throw well?
Well, honestly, all of these guys had command issues in college, and they were trying to work on that in this league to improve their draft stock. And pace of the game, when you have one team walking 11 guys, the pace of the game doesn't really fit the agenda for baseball as far as that goes. Now, kudos to the Scrappers and Colin Floyd in particular. His opening game line, he pitched 4 innings. He allowed an unearned run on 2 hits. He walked 1 in 4 innings, which was outstanding. More importantly, he punched out 7 in 4 innings, which is damn near 2 guys an inning, that's solid.
I mean, if he keeps that up, the whole idea of this league is that he'll get into the draft. You know,
There's no question.
I mean,
yeah, there's no question. Now he doesn't have the stuff, quote unquote, that some of these other guys do. He doesn't throw in the mid 90s, but his location, and we saw it in the Horizon League, his location's impeccable, and he pitches to contact. And you can have guys pitch to contact. Look, one of his predecessors from Youngstown State, Justin Thomas, was I believe a 4th round draft pick, if I'm not mistaken, of the Seattle Mariners. And I had an opportunity to call his 2007 season with the Mariners' first year as a AA affiliate of the West 10 Diamond Jacks, and I had an opportunity to call his games. He was a guy that would not blow you away with his stuff, but he pitched to contact, and his location was good enough. Justin Thomas went to the major leagues and had a pretty decent career. It wasn't a great career by any stretch of the imagination, but he got to the major leagues because he had really good location, and that's what Colin Floyd is looking to do. He's not going to blow anybody away. Just have the good location, pitch to contact, trust your defense, and you'll put up good numbers.
That description kind of to a T, for the most part, Japanese pitchers. Now, there are some outliers like Otani who is just going to blow it by you. But most Japanese pitchers have, low 90s, high 80s fastball, but they're just going to locate the crap out of it.
Yeah.
And their deception can also make it look faster than it is. I remember the Royals had a guy named Bruce Chen. He maybe threw an 88, 89 mile an hour fastball, but because he located it well and because he, decepted you, that 89 can look 95.
He had late action, is what the scouts would say. He had late action on his fastball, which...
If you don't have the stuff, you can still have the stuff.
Absolutely. Look, Greg Maddux didn't throw very hard in his heyday, but Greg Maddux went to the Hall of Fame and is arguably the greatest pitcher post-World War II, although I would tend to disagree with that. But one could make that argument because of the fact he pitched to contact and his location was impeccable. Can Colin Floyd become a high draft pick if he continues to put up these numbers? Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, and there's a reason he's striking out 7 without the mid-90s.
Absolutely. If you've got great location, you can put down any hitter you want to.
You know what? I also think, I've been able to watch him a couple times on YSN, and I think he's also a very smart pitcher, per se.
Yes.
Like, he knows his scouting report. He does his homework. He understands where to hit, where to pitch batters. A lot of young kids don't. You see some kids in college just have stuff, and they don't really follow the scouting report. But Floyd really understands the holes in his opponent's swings, and that's kind of high grade stuff. Most guys don't develop that right away.
Yeah, he's got he has a very advanced feel of his pitching. And Colin is one of those kids that I anticipate him getting drafted. And whoever gets him, they're going to be very fortunate. Let's get to the phone lines real quick. Tony, you're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What up, brother?
Hi, guys. Hi, Anthony. It's been a while.
It's been a minute, Tony.
Yeah.
You got some
You've
jabs
missed so
for
much
me?
abuse. I've missed so many opportunities to abuse you in your absence.
You had some jabs for me, I'm sure. I can take them. I'm a big boy.
Hey, real quick on all these walks, 11 walks, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Could some of this fall on the officiating?
No, I think that there's been some borderline
This
calls.
is the first time these guys have seen professional umpiring. I'm wondering if their previous strike zones have been more liberal potentially.
Well, I'd like to say that this is more umpires than it is pitchers, but most of the walks, the pitching is nowhere near home plate, unfortunately.
But you could argue that these lineups are a little bit better than the ones.
Oh, there's no question.
So they're going to be more patient and not go after a lot of pitches that other lineups would.
Anthony, Coco and Crisp and I had the conversation on Sunday, and I asked him, I said, 1 week into this league, did you envision the league being this good? And he said, I honestly think the league is better than what I envisioned. which is a hell of a statement to make. But one of the things that some of these pitchers, they got ridiculous stuff, but they don't know where it's going yet. Hence the reason for the high walks. But I think there are going to be enough baseball people that are going to fall in love with somebody that throws 95, 96 miles an hour that they'll say, okay, we can fix this guy. You can't teach what he's doing with 95, 96. Only a certain percentage of people can throw a ball that hard. So we can fix his mechanics and get him to be a much better control pitcher, and then just basically draft this player based on his arm.
Who's the guy? A guy of legend out of the Orioles staff, who couldn't throw a strike but could throw a baseball through a brick wall.
And his first name was Steve, and the last name escapes me. But I remember hearing
Dombrowski or something like that.
Yes, thank you. It was a. I don't think it was Dombrowski, but it was a Polish last name. This guy, it was the tail end of Ted Williams' career in Boston. So it was a spring training game in Florida, and Ted Williams had such a good baseball eye. He would go to the plate and he would go and look back at the umpire and say, home plate is 1/8 of an inch off center. And after the game, they would check and it would be 1/8 of an inch off center. There's a great story where he went to bat against this guy, and after the game, because this guy threw 3 straight fastballs, struck Williams out on 3 pitches, 3 fastballs, and after the game, someone asked him, what were you looking for during this at bat? And Ted Williams flat out said, I didn't see the ball. I'm just like, oh.
Was that the first time? That was probably the first time in that guy's career he threw 3 straight strikes, though, too.
Well, probably, and I mean, he never really spent much time in the bigs.
As far as the strikes, and they probably weren't strikes. It was probably just, oh God, I got to swing.
Well, I mean, he legend has it he threw well over 100 miles an hour, and that was 50 some odd years ago. So that's
legends have been told.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Great story, but a sad, tragic story too. The guy didn't deal with. He had one look at the bigs, I think, and then he washed out. And a lot of people think that Bull Durham was based on this guy. The pitcher in Bull Durham was based on this guy.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me, although Bull Durham had a unrealistic ending, calling someone up from A ball to go to the major leagues. That doesn't work out very well. That's that doesn't happen all that often. They had an unrealistic ending, even though it was great movie, and 90% of it is
it's great. It's all fantasy. It's great fantasy, and to have Susan Sarandon as keeping books. That's a pretty big fantasy too, right?
Well, listen, 90% of that was true, because there are plenty of Susan Sarandons throughout minor league baseball. Now, maybe not as attractive as Susan Sarandon in her quote prime, but there are plenty of, shall we say, Susan Sarandon types scattered around minor league baseball.
Hey, and not to get way, because we're already off topic, but in my mind, one of the prettiest women alive, and this isn't a perverse statement, just one of the prettiest women alive is Susan Sarandon's daughter. And I don't remember her name, but from a previous marriage.
Yeah.
Not this Tim Robbins guy. Stunning. If you look it up, you'll see just a stunning beauty. But that's off topic. Hey, sad it's raining today. I was really looking forward to some baseball today for these high school kids.
Yeah,
Does 5 teams in the regional finals, is that typical, or is that?
Well, five teams in the regional really isn't typical. I mean, it's above average, I think. How many teams get into the regional championship game? Well, at least one team is going to get bounced. Guaranteed one team will get bounced because Canfield and Salem are playing each other. And there's one prohibitive favorite in that, I would assume, right? Well, Canfield is a prohibitive favorite, but
they beat them twice this year already.
They only beat them once. Yeah, they only beat them once. And what people don't remember from that game, it was scoreless because Salem threw their ace, and then they took their ace out of the game because they had a league game 2 days later, and they wanted to save this kid for the league game. he had thrown four shutout innings, only one hit allowed in 4 innings. So I would say that Canfield and Salem could be a whole lot closer than the result from the opening day of the 2021 regular
Well, I
season.
hope for all of them, because that makes it exciting for all of them. But Canfield's, I mean, they've won their games 10-0, 10-0, 10-0 in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, they've been solid. Yeah, there's no question. They've been rock solid. But look, Tony, this region is so outstanding. I mean, you've got Canfield and Salem on one side. You've got a really good Chagrin Falls team, and they're going to have their hands full because Hoban's playing well. I think this is the best region of the 4 regions, and I honestly believe whoever comes out of this region is going to be a state champion.
Now, you know I'm a big Hoban fan, and I was disappointed in them throughout the season because they've always had a solid baseball team. I think this baseball team's probably a lot better than people think. Now, they did play Canfield this year.
Yes, they did.
And they lost by 2. They lost maybe a handful of their games by 2 runs. One of the games was Walsh Jesuit, who's a rival over there.
Sure.
And Walsh Jesuit's in the D1 regional.
Yeah, Hoban's
they
played
play a really tough schedule.
Yeah, I was going to say
Here's a
Hoban plays a really good schedule, and I think everyone should.
Breaking news.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why Hoban is the premier sports high school sports program is they play up. One of the reasons why Hoban is so good is they play up, but they'll have their hands full with Chagrin
Let me give you a
Falls.
stat on Hoban, and I don't know if people realize this. Go to the fall sports. They won state championship in boys golf and football, and their boys soccer team, their girls soccer team, and their girls volleyball team all went deep into the playoffs. That we haven't even gotten into the spring.
So did their
sport.
girls basketball team too.
Yeah, and their girls basketball team went in. I mean, it's Hoban is a.
I remember Lene Riley. I called one of her games. She scored like 48 points against South Range in an overtime game.
Yeah.
It's talent across the board, no matter what sport you're looking at.
Yeah, Hoban is just ridiculously good all over the place.
Well, and I recommend any coach who has. Tim Terrell is a really decent guy, I'm sure, and he would happily give people a tour. I mean, there's no secrets to how they have success. Go see their facilities. It is amazing, their training facilities. They've got a full-time women's and men's, girls and boys athletic trainer there. Not the guy that's taping you up, but the strength and conditioning coach.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I like to phrase it as they like to raise the eye level of their students, the perception. These kids believe that they can achieve at a much higher and much further distance than a lot of kids who walk around with their heads down, and that's culture.
Yeah.
That is culture, and I think so many kids are the tyranny of low expectations in so many programs, and that's all I'll say about that. I think a lot of kids are given a great injustice when in 7th grade they decide who's the good players and who's not the good players and what we can do when we're seniors, right?
Well, listen, especially if you're a small school, you cannot sit back and do something that crazy, especially if you're a small school. I mean, you if you're a small school, you cannot afford to miss the potential gold or the hidden diamonds. So junior high. Yeah, okay, the athletes, you could see the athletes front and center. That doesn't mean that athlete is going to continue to grow in high school. You might have a person that didn't shine in junior high sports, but then they get a sudden growth spurts, and all of a sudden, okay, this kid's ready to play, but you really didn't pay him much attention.
But maybe that's the problem. People want to sit around and look for diamonds. Opals are pretty cool, and jade is pretty cool, and all those gems are pretty cool, and they have their niche. Develop the breadth and depth of your kids, your student body, and you're going to be a good program.
Absolutely.
But there's no James Bond movie that's called Opals Are Forever.
Hey, one more game I'm really hoping for, and again, we don't look past anything, but I would love to see a Kennedy Matthews final. And again, nobody looks past anything. I'm sure Kennedy's not looking past, and I'm sure Matthews is not looking past. But you have a team. This Matthews team is young, crazy young, and I wonder if sometimes youthful
they don't know
if you're useful.
Yeah, they don't know what they don't know, and sometimes being a kid and not having any pressure is a wonderful thing in the tournaments.
What's cool? We have the opportunity to say that 3 local programs in Matthews, South Range, and
boys and girls.
Matthews and South. Sorry, 2 programs. Matthews and South Range can both say that they had softball and baseball teams in the regional championship.
Well, look at champion. I was just thinking about that earlier. These aren't the same coaches. Boys and girls don't have the same coaches. So it's a culture around this baseball type sports.
Back in 2017, when champion and softball and baseball both won, that was the first team to ever do it the same year.
17 or 16?
Second time to do it. And I
first public team, I'm guessing?
It is the second in the state of Ohio. I'm not sure who the first one was, but it's only been done twice.
Who called that game on the radio, Ron?
That would be me. Yeah, I called the champion softball. And I'll tell you a story, Tony. I had a conversation with Keith and said, listen, we can do both games. You're out of your mind. No, you can go down to Columbus, because back at that time it was in Columbus, and it was played, I want to say 3.5, 4 hours before the champion girls game was played. So look, you can play that game, fly like a bat out of hell up to Akron and do the softball game. He goes, no, I don't want you getting in a wreck on I-71. You're going to do the girls game.
Sent the iHeart helicopter for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could have taken the iHeart helicopter and then, but it was one of the coolest things about this day was I'm doing the champion game, and about the 4th inning, the guys come in to Firestone Stadium with trophy in hand, and the place went nuts. I mean, that place went nuts. They're bouncing this trophy up and down, and the champion people are just going absolutely bananas. And the Wheelersburg people are looking around going...
But that's weird that the 2 games lined up, because baseball is usually behind softball for a week. So how did it work that they've played on the same day?
They weren't at that time. They ran them concurrent, I think, at that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, they had champions baseball team play in the morning, and the champions...
No, but they're staggered a week now.
Yeah, because South Range baseball will play a week after South Range softball.
Yeah,
I think they were concurrent at that time.
They were concurrent. Yeah, they were concurrent at that time. So champion boys had played the late morning in Columbus, and then mid-afternoon they were playing the girls softball title game at Firestone. And like I said, about the 4th inning, you hear this ridiculous roar coming out of champion. It scared the shit out of me, actually. And I'm just looking around, I'm like, oh, now I know what's going on. And you've got the champion boys bebopping this trophy all over the place. And the Wheelersburg people are like, oh, yeah, we're in trouble now.
We're in trouble.
Yeah. And speak about the youth, youth is squandered on the young. My niece was the next game after that game, and that's why I was there, was the Hoban championship game against somebody. I forget who it was. And my niece was a freshman on that team. And
nice.
And she got a runner. They lost. She got a runner-up medal. And
there you go.
There was no doubt in my mind that they would have gotten back there. No doubt in anybody's mind that they would have got back to the state championship game. And it never happened in 3 years. One of them was a COVID year, which they would have had a good run at it. But
it's not
horrible.
It's not guaranteed. Nothing's handed.
Yeah, nothing's handed to you in life.
In 2016, when South Range went to the state championship game, same thing. They only lost one senior. Everyone expected them to come out and be a contender next year, and they ran into Mooney in districts, and they didn't get out of districts. Nothing's guaranteed.
Okay, one more point of interest. When Kennedy in 16 won the state championship in I think it was 16 in football, the team they beat was Minster.
Yeah, Minster.
So Kennedy went to the state championship game in 2020 and lost, and Minster won the state championship in baseball that following spring. So maybe that's a good omen for Kennedy.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, look, I think Kennedy has a better than average chance at beating Columbia. We'll see. I mean, it's Hollabaugh is definitely a difference, especially when he's on the mound, and I would expect him
But
to be
they've
on
got
the
more
mound.
than one pitch. They've got more than one pitcher. So.
Oh, absolutely. No, and there's a reason why they're in the regionals. You got, at this point, you better have more than one pitcher, and JFK does have more than one starting pitcher.
Yeah. So it's exciting. At this level, you don't get to follow them close enough, but I think they're a loaded team, but I would love to see them play Matthews, who's a young team, and maybe they could both take something. Maybe both of them can take something. And I'll tell you again, Matthews is a well-coached.
Oh, there's no question. And prior to this rain out today, if both teams had won, they were going to play the championship game at Scene Park in Struthers. So there's still rumors flying around that if
Whoa. I thought that was all etched in stone.
Yeah, they were planning on playing the game at 2:00 on Friday at Scene Park, but then when the rains hit, they're not going to be doing that now because there's prior commitments going on, and they don't have any room for that game on Saturday because there are other commitments going on at Scene Park with other baseball related stuff. Yeah, Prep Baseball Report is there for the day. So,
but I heard Austintown, and so I heard Austintown. But moving a game onto a turf field for two teams that have never played it, that's a big difference. I heard that turf field.
It is.
At least you can argue that both teams would be in the same boat.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit of a change, especially for the infielders. It's definitely a change.
Now Matthews plays on a home dirt field, which I guess you don't see a lot of, but it's a beautiful track, but it's a dirt infield.
Yeah, the whole infield is dirt. It's like the ballpark up at Niles. The whole infield is dirt.
Oh, Niles is too? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was fun, guys. I'll save my Chiefs comments for later. Have a good weekend, guys.
See you, Tony. 330-886-0813, the MPVivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline, open for business. So we got all kinds of softball and baseball tomorrow, and we're going to be busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest tomorrow. A lot of stuff that was planned for today washed away due to Mother Nature. That gives us an opportunity to talk about some other stuff. As we mentioned, Mahoning Valley getting a big win over Frederick. Frederick hasn't won a game yet in this league, and it's they're not a good team. Yeah, they're just not a good team.
You knew in a new league like this there was going to be one clunker. It was bound to happen. Hoping it wasn't, you were hoping like for life it wasn't the Scrappers, but you just knew with a brand new startup with this new roster, the way they're making everything, and there was going to be one team that just didn't put the right people in place.
Yeah, and it looked like it was going to be two teams. West Virginia did a number on Mahoning Valley Monday and Tuesday, beat them in 2 games, walked them off on Monday with a 3-run bottom of the 9th inning, and then just kicked Mahoning Valley's ass on Tuesday, beat them like 10-2, but it was good to see the Scrappers come back. They just absolutely destroyed Frederick last night. And again, when Frederick's pitchers are walking 11 guys, Mahoning Valley got 15 runs on 9 hits. That doesn't look good on a box score. It just doesn't.
Doesn't compute.
Yeah, normally you have more hits than you do runs. It looks weird when a team scores more runs than hits.
Nothing frustrates me as a baseball fan more than seeing my team out-hit the team they lost to. That's always one of the ones that go, oh, man. You had 11 hits, they had 8, but you still lost 4-2. It's like, what?
and 99 times out of 100, you look to, okay, what did you do with runners in scoring position? And you see a big goose egg.
Timely hit, or they hit one of their hits was a home run.
Yeah.
It's timely hitting.
Yeah, it's all there is. It's timely hitting, and you go back to high school baseball tournament, especially in a single elimination game. You got to have pitching, you got to have defense, you got to have timely hitting, and a little bit of luck thrown in there as well. A little luck of the Irish.
And we did announce our YSN Players of the Year today in baseball and softball. We might take a break and announce those later.
That is a very good tease. That is a very good tease, Mr. Hardwig. We will announce the Players of the Year in both baseball and softball, the YSN Players of the Year in baseball and softball. That's all coming up after this timeout. Also, legendary trainer Bob Baffert just got kicked out of Churchill Downs for a couple of years. We'll explain why after this timeout. It's a Thursday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we go the extra mile for you.
By finding you the right vehicle at the right price.
And by being with you for every mile of your journey.
Visit greenwoodchevrolet.com and tell us how we can go the extra mile for you.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Bad credit, no problem. I can get you approved for a low-interest loan and maybe even a low-payment lease on a new car at the #1 Chevy dealership in Trumbull County for 3 years in a row. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved or come see me, Tony Page, to get a new vehicle today. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Jimmy Sutton here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and 2 of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Your
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point. Ron Potesta with you alongside Anthony Hardwick, who was working feverishly in the break. We were teasing prior to the break, YSN this morning announcing their YSN baseball and softball players of the year.
Just getting all these stats down. There's a lot of eye-popping numbers for both these players.
No question. So, ladies first. So let's go with the softball player of the year.
YSN softball player of the year is South Range's senior Bree Kohler, pitcher extraordinary.
Yeah, here's my shocked look.
BK, Breeze, whatever you want to call her.
She is a very special, very gifted softball player.
So let's just break down. Let's start with her pitching numbers. 119.2 innings pitched right now because they're still playing.
Yes.
199 strikeouts, just 19 walks. 17-2 is a record. Her ERA is 1.17, and her WHIP is .752. Wow. Now her hitting numbers.
Yeah, this is what makes her really solid.
Her batting average is .491. She has hit 12 home runs, 62 RBI. That's 62 RBI, by the way, a program record for RBI in a season. And she's only struck out once.
Okay, to give everyone just an idea of how big 62 runs batted in is, how many games again has South Range played?
They are now 28-3.
31 games. 61 runs batted in. She is driving in well over a run, very close to 2 runs per game.
And she's usually in the 2 spot, so it's not exactly a RBI gold mutt.
That is an unbelievable number. It's one thing to sit back and go, okay, your pitching is incredible. And look, she could have very easily been pitcher of the year, except, well, there was someone that was a shade better out of McDonald and Bree Callow, but she's the player of the year because as good as young Miss Kohler is on the mound, oh, by the way, she's really good, she arguably is even better hitting.
The name drop stat, or the jaw-dropping stat that really just was a nail in the coffin in our discussion internally was the 1 strikeout. You struck out once all season.
How many at-bats are we talking about here?
Let me get that for you.
Yeah, because, you strike out 1 time. That's, good Lord, that's amazing.
Remember, she was in the 2 spot almost all season. So
she's going to be getting more at-bats.
She has 110 official at-bats, 125 plate appearances.
So 1 strikeout and 110 at-bats. Kids, that is every 22 or every 110 times up, you're striking out. Yeah. Oh, I mean, to give proper perspective, based on 550 at bats, she would have 5 strikeouts. That is wow. Those are some video game type numbers. That's just crazy.
18 stolen bases as well. And she's only walked 6 times because she really puts the ball in play, puts pressure on the defense with her speed. 18 stolen bases is a pretty high number for 31 games.
Now let me ask you, once the kids start going into college softball, does the DH normally pitch or normally hit for the pitcher in college softball?
There's a lot of pitchers who hit in college softball. Even YSU, where Bree is going, we saw Maddie Lusk pitch and hit, and when she wasn't pitching, she was playing first base. There are a lot more pitchers who rake in softball than you see in baseball.
Okay, now where does Bree play in the field when she's not pitching?
Center field.
Okay.
So at YSU, probably if she's not pitching, she'll probably be in the outfield. If I had to guess.
Yeah, because if you can play center field, you can play all three.
Right.
You can play all three outfield positions. So you don't necessarily have to have Bree etched in center field. Because she can play center field, that means that she can play all three.
Reality is Bree's going to be walking into a pitching staff that's already solid and deep, so that she might spend a year in the outfield and just contribute with her bat and then pitch in situational pitching. We don't know. I mean, they're going to have Buffenbarger back, who had her career year and was named Horizon League Pitcher of the Year. And then they'll also have Sophie Howe coming into her second year from Champion. So they're going to go 3 deep in pitching. That's pretty impressive.
Now, the first young lady that you just mentioned, is she going to be a senior this year?
Yes.
Okay. The idea of having Sophie Howell and Bree Kohler on the same team, oh my God, is that frightening. Because, I mean, look, everyone, and it's a damn shame that we didn't have a 2020 spring campaign. Right. But everyone knew Sophie Howell is that's an elite, very elite pitcher. Well, Bree Kohler's the same way.
Another cool piece of information: Bree Kohler has won 8 district championships as an athlete at South Range in 3 sports that she's played.
Yeah.
So I'm not like a seamster, but I'm sensing a pattern.
Anthony Hardwick for the win, ladies and gentlemen. What is that? Let me ask you, because there's another multi-sport athlete in Poland. Jackie Grisdale is quite the athlete herself. I would be curious how many district championships Jackie has won in her career at Poland.
Let's see. Well, basketball they've won twice, because they won this year and they won 2 years ago.
Okay.
Softball they obviously won 2 years ago in 19 because they went to the state semis. And that was their first district championship since Aaron Gabriel was there. Mm-hmm. So that's 3. I don't know what she does, because she runs. So I don't know how many districts.
That's more of an individual than.
And soccer, did she? She has 20 letters. So
yeah, exactly. I was thinking off the top of my head, who has the more district championships?
I think Bree Kohler probably has more district championships. Jackie Grisdale has more varsity letters.
Yeah,
obviously.
Well, listen, 20 varsity letters is ridiculous. That's how the hell do you fit that on your jacket?
And they're both going D1 for their respective sport. Jackie Grisdale will be playing at Quinnipiac for basketball, which is a D1 school mid-major that has a history of making some noise in the tournament. So just because people know Quinnipiac, how do you even pronounce that? They are someone that have made some noise in the tournament before. They've been to a Sweet 16. They're out of Connecticut, so they have a program that isn't exactly a layover.
It's kind of UConn's younger sister,
right?
Yeah,
I like that because I think it's a former assistant of Kino that coaches.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, and it's a solid school.
It's kind of like, it reminds me of St. Bonaventure a little bit back when for your Crestview people when Cindy Boker.
Yep.
Chelsea Boker, not Cindy Boker.
When Chelsea was there.
When Chelsea Boker went to St. Bonaventure, they were kind of in the same spot. They'd been to a couple tournament games, and then she went there and they went to a Sweet 16. Quinnipiac, kind of the same kind of program.
St. Bonaventure, and it's because I spent 2 years in Elmira, and driving back home, and I think it's I-86, where you get the split off from I-90 to I-86, and you take I-86, and it takes you down into Pennsylvania or down into the bottom part of upstate New York, which is weird that the southern part of New York is upstate New York. Very bizarre. But you go past St. Bonaventure College in Olean, New York. It is a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous college, and it's an A-10 program. It's a solid mid-major program, but they've made some noise, not just in girls' hoops. They made some noise in boys' hoops as well. It's a great place to go as far as a mid-major Division I program.
We have a YSN alum playing softball at St. Bonaventure, by the way. Brooke Bobby from Poland went to St. Bonaventure, so we keep an eye on their softball program as well.
Yeah, St. Bonaventure is it's not too far from home. It's like a 5-hour journey, and you get to see some of the absolute gorgeous scenery driving down that road.
You don't have to drive through the miserable traffic of New York City.
Well, the down part of it is don't try to do it in the wintertime because it's a pain in the ass to drive in the winter.
We made the mistake once of trying to go watch Bethany play in the winter.
Oof.
Because we had a South Range alum that played at Bethany, so we wanted to go watch her play.
Oof.
And Bethany is like a bunch of curvy, bendy, hilly roads to get there. And luckily it wasn't like a bad winter storm, but it was still, it's cold, it's a little light. It was not exactly the trip you want to make in the winter.
Yeah, well, anytime you go to West by God, Virginia in the wintertime, you're just shaking your head going, no, give me a nice sunny winter day, no precipitation. Okay, I'll do that. But if it's even a hint of snow or bad weather, I ain't making that trip.
Right, so once again, Bree Kohler, the YSN Softball Player of the Year, playing in the state semifinals tomorrow at 10 a.m., and she will be a YSU Penguin come next year.
And by the way, this is just a one-shot deal in terms of the weather. Tomorrow is supposed to be absolutely gorgeous. Saturday's supposed to be even warmer and gorgeous. So we are going to have 2 really, really nice days. There will be no cancellations tomorrow.
Which is why we say crinkle forecast and throw them out the window, because on Monday it was supposed to high chance of rain yesterday, a little bit chance of rain today, and then a little bit of higher chance on tomorrow.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it didn't rain much yesterday, if at all. Raining a lot today, and it's not supposed to rain at all tomorrow. So yeah, that's what your forecast is for you.
Listen, I mean,
you know the people that do a good forecast and the people that you need to trust. WFMJ Storm Tracker. Get the app.
Yeah, exactly.
Because no one else does it better.
Yeah, but I look at this and I go...
Yeah, that weather app on your phone, it doesn't even touch Storm Tracker.
2 days out, you're like, okay, this is going to change about 50 gazillion times because the weather patterns are weird these days. So it's like, all right, well, let's figure it out. The 1 day forecast, spot on. I love 21's forecast.
What was it like last week? We had the severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah.
And 21 was live on Facebook for like 4 hours, just continuously updating people on.
Oh yeah.
Where the storm? Like, who does that?
Yeah, it's solid weather forecasting over there, and they use top of the line.
Hopefully, we won't need our storms today.
No.
But it is raining, and we won't need the Storm Tracker app tomorrow because it's going to be sunny.
Yeah, and let's be honest, I would be very, very surprised if we have any baseball. But forget about the tournaments. I mean, our local teams are not playing baseball today. The tournaments have all been postponed.
No, every game at Scene Park is postponed.
Yeah, like I said, I'd be very surprised if we were going to have any B-League baseball today. And I know that I was supposed to umpire at Springfield in a 14U game.
PBR?
No, for a B-League game.
Okay, so they're playing Springfield.
But that's probably not going to happen either. So it's but tomorrow and this weekend, if you're going to a Scrappers game, you're not going to have any problems. They're supposed to be absolutely gorgeous. Saturday nights, by the way, fireworks after the game. I know it's not on the schedule. These were the fireworks that were supposed to have been shot off last Friday. That the Frederick game got postponed because it was cold and it was damp and it was rainy. And those fireworks are getting shot off Saturday night.
Welcome to Ohio. Last Thursday it was like 55 and we were in winter jackets, and now here we are in the 80s. Love it.
Yeah, no, it's summer can't come fast enough for me.
All right,
we had hardly any spring.
We've let the anticipation fester enough. Baseball. YSN.
Hold on a second.
Player of the Year. And could you say that all roads lead to this decision? Maybe that's a hint. Lane Rhodes out of Salem is your YSN Baseball Player of the Year. And these stats, once again, he kind of goes beyond stats a little bit for how much he meant to his team. But stats are incredible for him as well. 7-0 record on the mound, 55.1 innings pitched. His ERA is under 1, 0.88. And he has a no-hitter to his credit against West Branch. We didn't even bring up Bree Kohler's 2 perfect games, by the way. That reminds me. And one of them in the district semifinal.
I mean, it's she had so much on her resume. Oh, by the way, she threw 2 no-hitters, 1 perfect game in the district semifinals. Right. Yeah, that's That's the whipped cream and the sundae on top, or the chocolate sauce on top of the perfect sundae.
So on top of those stats, once again, the 55 innings pitched and a 0.88 ERA, he walked 31 and gave up 32 hits, and his whip is like 1.14. Not bad.
Yeah, that's... how many innings did you say again?
He pitched 55.1 innings pitched.
All right, 55 and a third innings of work. Yeah, the walks are a little high, but the ERA is under 1. It tells me that when guys get on base, he's got a bulldog mentality and he doesn't allow anybody to score.
This was the number that got me. He has 51 runners left on base.
That would explain the bulldog mentality.
He strands runners like crazy.
Yeah.
He's also played... This is another thing that I think got him an extra boost in this discussion. He has played at third base, shortstop, and first base for Salem, along with being on the pitcher. So very versatile in the infield. Can play anywhere that his team needs him to be. He at the plate also kind of impressive offensive stats. 384 batting average. He has 15 extra base hits, 20 RBI, and 11 stolen bases. So, I mean, if you add all that to the fact that he's been so important to what Salem is doing. I mean, they don't have 26 wins without Lane Rhodes on that team.
Well, and that's exactly the reason why he's the player of the year for baseball in the area, or at least in the YSN family. Without Lane Rhodes, Salem is definitely not a district champion. They're probably not winning 20 games. It would be a much different season without Lane Rhodes. Not to say that Salem isn't talented without him. They are. But the addition of Lane Rhodes, you get an ace pitcher. More importantly, when he's not pitching, he is able to play various positions, a jack of all trades in the infield, and a guy that can hit the ball reasonably well. Again, his walks, probably inflated a little bit compared to other pitchers in the area. But what I love about this kid is
his whip is still 1.13.
Well, and one of the reasons why is because he doesn't give up a lot of hits.
Right.
But when guys are on base, that's when the mentality goes up a few notches, and he leaves these guys on base.
Get this: the batting average against him is 158. So opponents are hitting 158 against him.
Yeah.
He's also struck out 66. So he has more strikeouts than innings pitched, which is always impressive.
And it's solid. I mean, it's again, there are guys that have got fewer walks and more strikeouts, but again, the argument that I would say with Lane is I don't think there's anybody better in terms of leaving guys on base and pitching out of trouble, and whether it's pitching to contact or just making the perfect pitch.
I might be corrected on this, and I'm sure, but I don't know if there's another guy that played third, shortstop, and first for his team and still put up those numbers. I mean, that's versatile. That's versatility. Being able to not be in one spot, and like some guys, if you don't play short, I can't be focused in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the different positions. He's a jack of all trades in the infield. He's if you want to use a terminology, Yu Chang comes to mind. Somebody that can play all around the infield. He's not going to embarrass you defensively, and he gets the job done. And you got to have guys like that. If you're going to win a state championship, you got to have guys that are able to do the things that Lane Rhodes is able to do. And that's one of the big reasons why he's the player of the year.
Defensively, he's made 6 errors in 55 total chances for a fielding percentage of .891.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, he's a solid player. Without Lane Rhodes, I don't think Salem has a district championship team. I think they would be good, but I don't think that they would be a district championship team.
I think you would probably cut your wins down. Like if we had WAR for high school baseball, I know you hate it, but I would bet that Lane Rhodes would be pretty high in WAR if we kept war for high school baseball.
War.
Because he's the reason that Salem wins a lot of their games, which is what war is meant to calculate. How many wins do you get your team?
Yeah, it's a number that could be flawed. It's
I get it.
But look, I mean, he's a great baseball player, playing for a team that loves the fact that he's an ace and
I'm trying to find out how to calculate WAR and see if I can just.
Well, I mean,
find it out.
You'd have to average out every pitcher in the area, and that would be a headache to be sure.
Just to find Lane Rhodes' WAR, I feel like I could do that. Let me try.
Oh Lord, good luck with that search. I feel like I'm asking Magellan to find some new territories in the North Atlantic.
It's batting runs plus base running runs plus fielding runs plus positional adjustment plus league adjustment plus replacement runs per win in itself is not a complicated formula. However, each simple components are difficult to calculate. So you have to find all those, and then once you do that, you can.
Good luck trying to find all of those. Oh my gosh! Yeah, somehow I could see PBR finding all of those things, though. It's crazy what they're able to find these days. But no, I mean Lane Rhodes, a terrific selection on. Player of the Year or Most Valuable Player. He would certainly be the MVP because I don't think you can find another player that has as much of an imprint on his program than young Mr. Rhodes over at Salem.
I agreed, and his stats aren't anything to turn your nose at either. So
no.
So maybe there are some guys with a couple of numbers that are better, but when you add his eye-popping stats to how important he is to his team, that ends up being Player of the Year, and that's why we chose him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's go figure. If it was, if everything was based on, well, how important is this person to the team's success? Well, LeBron James would have been an MVP 8 or 9 times over. Unfortunately, the NBA doesn't work that way. But we do. So
and if it was also just flat out best basketball player in the league, it'd probably be LeBron James more than that.
Absolutely. Although he is in danger of doing something that he has never done in the history of his very storied NBA career. LeBron James is 14-0 in first-round series. And the Lakers are down 3-2 to the Phoenix Suns in round 1 of the NBA playoffs. He is in very big danger of losing in the first round for the first time ever. Mainly because the unibrow isn't playing. So, if the unibrow plays, and who was it? A couple of nights ago, Charles Barkley had the stones to say on the air, the Lakers go nowhere without street clothes. And everyone's looking at him and going, what the hell is street clothes? Well, Anthony Davis. That's my new nickname for him because he's in street clothes more than he is in a basketball uniform. Anthony Street Clothes Davis. I'm like, damn! Who says that? Wow!
Wow.
and Draymond Green was in studio when he did that, and you heard this snicker on the air.
When you say that when you're that good, no one can really touch you anyway.
Yeah, I get a kick out of whenever Barkley says something completely outrageous. I kind of get a kick out of it.
He's there for that though.
Yeah.
They want him to say something outlandish.
But it's not Skip Bayless outrageous because Skip Bayless outrageous is idiots.
Loud.
Yeah. Skip Bayless outrageous is idiot talk.
I saw it was in the Facebook memories today. There was a flashback to when it was the year that the Heat beat the Thunder in the finals.
Yes.
And Mark Cuban was on First Take with ESPN. And man, did he take Skip Bayless to school. Talking about LeBron James and the Heat and why the Mavericks beat him the year before and why. Oh, man, I loved it.
No, listen,
you brought someone that actually knew basketball on the show.
Exactly.
And Skip just talked in generalities.
Exactly. Well, that's what he does.
Cuban was like, "What defensive scheme did we run to stop LeBron? I don't know. You played. Yeah, but what kind of zone did we play?" And he just He was flailing, and I was like, "Thank God,
yeah.
Get him."
Cuban's one of those guys that I wouldn't want to mess with. He can bring out the knowledge guns.
He should be a baseball owner. I'm just going to say it. I think he would bring a lot of marketing positioning.
Well, I mean, he's a Pittsburgh guy, and there's been talk that Cuban has been wanting to buy the Pirates.
But there's also talk like MLB doesn't want to touch him.
Well, he's a controversial owner,
right?
And Major League Baseball doesn't like being in. Although they've found themselves in controversy the last 30 years. I mean, I don't know. You lived through the steroid era. Yeah. Now you got guys doctoring up baseballs, and you haven't done a damn thing about that yet.
Their history is flooded with controversy and scandal.
Yeah,
like most professional leagues.
Well, you know, it's
you give younger people and even the guys making the pros are 22. They're younger people. You give them a lot of money, then apparently you're going to have a good percentage of them make mistakes.
Of course,
that's what professional leagues are all about.
That's it. I mean, say what you will about the NFL, but when they did the symposium clinics on guys that have been in trouble years and years and years ago that were able to get out of trouble, and in Chris Carter's case, make it to the Hall of Fame. Chris Carter went into a symposium with the young kids and just took them all to school in terms of this is what you have to do. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. And all the hangers on, get rid of them because they're just going to bring you down.
This generation's Chris Carter was Michael Vick.
Absolutely.
Because Michael Vick did something that's...
and still to this day, people don't like him.
Disgusting.
Sure.
But he did the jail. He got, he did his time. But then he came out, and he now makes sure that these guys have someone that's guiding them to not make the same mistakes he does. I mean, there was a whole documentary where he came out and said, I wasn't ready for that kind of that kind of maturity that the NFL required. He wasn't mature, and he made really immature mistakes and disgusting mistakes. I mean, dogfighting, it's disgusting.
Well, down south, and I lived in the South. It is a weird culture.
It is
down there. With some people just think that there's nothing wrong with that.
There were people in that documentary that said dogfighting is pretty much like a community baseball game here.
Yeah.
In these streets.
Cockfighting is another one where you get the two roosters together and they peck each other, and one pecks the other one to death.
Point is, Michael Vick got caught. He did his public duty. Went to jail for I think 2 years.
Yeah, a couple of years in.
I think the maximum time.
Yeah.
And then he came out. He got a chance with the Philadelphia. Andy Reid said, "Hey, let's give him a chance," and he did things the right way from that point on. And now he's one of the guys that does the symposiums like Chris Carter did and speaks to these guys as they come into the league. That's all you can ask people that have made past mistakes to do is to garner their mistakes.
Universally, they all sit back and say, get rid of your hangers-on.
Right.
Get rid of the people that are moochers. And you just have to do it. Otherwise, they're going to bring you down. Going back to LeBron James. LeBron James at Akron St. Vincent St. Mary had 3 really close friends. Maverick Carter is one of them. He has been loyal to Maverick Carter. And Maverick Carter is a guy that has never been a moocher. He's actually part of the brains behind the brand of LeBron James, and one of the reasons why he and LeBron are doing some Hollywood things now that LeBron's in L.A.
Space Jam 2.
Well, among other stuff. There's a documentary that they're putting together that's going to be on this fall.
Timed right after The Last Dance. So let's do a documentary.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
good
funny.
Lord. But yeah, it's not just in football. All professional sports. You got the moochers. You got the guys that are just hanging around the.
That's not even people in general want something for nothing, and that's just philosophy of the day here. We're getting kind of deep, but even if you're not rich, if you can give someone something and they don't have to work for it, they want it.
Of course. Look no further than what we did for the last year. I mean, not to politicize anything, but 3 stimulus checks,
Right.
unemployment for
Now
everyone.
There are a lot of businesses that are struggling because they can't find workers that want to work.
And I just saw a sign and I won't mention the name of the restaurant, but I saw a sign saying we'll hire for $13 an hour.
Whatever it takes.
Whoa.
We need both.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and some people are like,
Was
well,
it,
we don't want to go to we don't want to go back to work yet.
Cedar Point can't open a full summer schedule because they don't have enough seasonal workers.
Yeah.
They're going to be days in June when they're closed.
And they jacked up their per hour rate to $20 an hour for anyone that wants to work at Cedar Point. Now,
buttons on a
look, I mean, that's $800 a week if you're working 40 hours.
Sign me up.
Good
All
Lord.
I have to do is let people into a ride and press start.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Clean up the puke. Okay, that's fine. But if you're giving me $20 an hour, I'll do it. Cool.
Just don't sign me up for one of those roller coasters that go upside down.
Oh.
I'm old fashioned when it comes to the roller coasters. I gotta go.
I would rather that than the wooden ones.
I love wooden coasters.
The wooden ones jar the crap out of your body, and you come out of that thinking you were just in a car wreck because you're like.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But then the steel ones, they don't have the up, down, and they decide to go upside down. I can't do upside down. That's just I went on the corkscrew many years ago, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't do that.
The Millennium Force doesn't go upside down, but it drops you from a really high spot, and it doesn't feel natural.
No, no.
And I was dumb enough to say, let's sit in the front row.
Oof.
So you can
how
see
big of a
yourself.
drop? How big of a drop are we talking about?
I forget how high. I know the angle was like at one point it was the tallest roller coaster in the world. I don't think it is anymore. And then at another point it was also the steepest angle drop of any roller coaster in the world.
I mean, what was the wooden coaster that I went on?
It was enough to take you like 75 miles an hour on that drop.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
years and years and years ago, when the Magnum was at the twin roller coasters on the wooden roller coaster, years and years and years ago, probably the last time I went up to Cedar Point, I rode that, and I was like, this really isn't going to be that big of a deal. And this thing kept climbing and climbing and climbing. I'm like,
the anticipation sucks.
I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I'm looking all out. I could see Lake Erie. I mean, I could see I could probably see Canada, and we're still going upward. I'm like, what the hell did I just get myself into? And you look at the first hill and you're like, that can't be that big of a deal. Oh, get on the roller coaster and see how big of a deal that is. Like a 205-foot drop from the top all the way down. I'm like,
the anticipation is the worst part.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it takes like a minute to get up there, so you're sitting there like,
yeah. Yeah.
And you're looking around, you're getting higher and higher. You're like, oh God, we're gonna die.
Yeah, it's like
I've seen Final Destination 3. I know what happens next.
Yeah, can we please move this along here pretty quickly? That's Lord, that was crazy. Yeah, I won't do upside down roller coasters. Give me the
if someone said
old
right
school
now,
ones.
you either have to do an upside down roller coaster at Cedar Point or be on the zipper at the Canfield Fair.
What is the zipper?
You can go upside down if you do it enough, but it's like it's the seats that. Like the ride does this, and if you do this enough, the seats will do this as it does.
Yeah,
this.
I can't do that.
But it breaks down every year.
Yeah,
and
I can't.
I'd be like,
hell no.
No,
I can't do that.
I went to the IX. Remember the IX Indoor Amusement Park?
Yeah.
They had the one that's just a circle and it goes around, but then it stops you at the top and then it'll drop you, and then it stops at the top and But I was a little thing in middle school. I was like skinny, 80 pounds. The thing didn't come far enough. So when it stopped upside down, I felt my body kind of start to slip out.
Oh.
And I was like, no, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, we don't need that. Thank you.
No.
Yikes.
No.
Yikes.
Just keep going. I'll be fine. Don't.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, that was the scariest moment of my middle school life.
Yeah, no, that's I refuse to do that.
Indoor amusement park.
My oldest brother conned my mom in the old street fairs. The old paratrooper rides where it wouldn't go. It would go like a 45-degree angle, and the ride would be like this, but then when you started going down, it would tilt a little bit and swoop you down and then carry you up and go back straight and then turn around and swoop. Like, my mom got off that ride and she was ready to kill my brother. She was like, never again, never again.
I always liked the one that it was, I think it's called like the Phoenix or the Pharaohs, where it's like a pendulum and it just swings you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Canfield Fair has one of those. Yeah. No, thank you.
It doesn't go upside down.
Oh, it absolutely does. If
it doesn't go all the way around. It just the Pharaoh one just kind of swings like a pendulum. And
I thought I saw it go upside down once.
There is one that goes like this.
Yeah.
But there's one that goes like this. It doesn't go upside down, and there's one like that that does turn you as you're going like.
No, thank you.
The worst fair experience, and the Canfield Fair is coming up, so I feel like this is applicable to the end of summer. There's a ride at the Canfield Fair that it's like an arm like this, and it spins. But as you're spinning, the seats spin too. So you're going around while the thing's going around.
The spider.
Something like that. And you're not really separated from the guy sitting next to you.
Yeah.
My dad's with me. My dad's a lot bigger than me at this point. We didn't understand that doing this while you're doing this which side I should sit on, because which side is gonna smack you.
Oh, so he's crushing you.
I'm getting like
yeah. So he's separating your shoulder while you're sitting back going ah.
And it was the most I couldn't even enjoy the ride because I'm sitting there like my ribs are cracking.
At the old Idora Park, when I was, I'd had to have been 9 or 10. My cousins came down from Buffalo, and there was a ride called the Spider, and it was one seat, and you were on. I think it was 8 people could sit for each spider leg or whatever, and it would go around, but you would spin around as it's going around. Oh yeah, that wasn't good. I learned very, very early that we're not able to do that. I ralphed big time on that ride. That was not good. That was definitely not good. Good rides though. The old Idora Park used to have 2 wooden roller coasters, the Jackrabbit and the Wildcat.
This is the South Range softball game. We don't have a exact confirmed time yet, but we assume that it'll actually have to be moved because we forgot that there are semifinals that were scheduled for today. 1 and 4 divisions, 1 and 4.
Yeah,
we're supposed to be today.
Yeah,
they have to play tomorrow.
Okay,
so you would assume that 2 and 3 that were scheduled tomorrow are going to be moved to Saturday.
I got a feeling we're going to be playing a Sunday state championship.
Maybe, but you can't squeeze all that in 2 days. So, we don't when we get a confirmed time and adjustment for that, we'll pass it along. But we assume that South Range game will be pushed back because the Division 1 and 4 semifinals had to be pushed back to tomorrow because of the weather today.
That's kind of good news. So all of the South Range fans can watch the baseball team play the regional semifinals without having to go from point A to point B. Now, if South Range wins, and we certainly think there's a better than average chance that they will win, then Saturday would be you got to go from point A to point B pretty quickly, and we'll see what happens. Because Saturday's game, isn't that supposed to be at or close to the time period that South Range would be playing, or somewhere where it's within an hour of each other?
For what?
Saturday, if in fact the state semifinals are moved to Saturday,
you'd think they keep the times the same. I mean, why would they? Once again, we're waiting for time confirmations, but you'd think that if they're just playing the D1 and D4 semifinals tomorrow, tomorrow that we're supposed to be today, there'd be no reason to switch the times around because it would just start at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, but the finals in the in Division 3, weren't the finals supposed to be scheduled early afternoon?
Oh, the state final was supposed to be Saturday at 4.
Oh, okay. All right, but we're talking about the
semifinals.
The semifinals.
Right.
The championship game on Saturday, if South Range gets past Gilmore Academy, has not been determined yet.
Right.
So I wonder if South Range beats Gilmore Academy on Friday. I wonder if they're going to schedule that game at some point after the South Range.
I would assume they would try to stagger it so they would play on different times.
Yeah, because the one thing that you would definitely not want is to have your softball fan base in Akron and your baseball fan base in Massillon instead of both of them together.
When we were in basketball season, the South Range boys were in a district game at the same time the girls were in their regional game, and they got that moved to a different day so they could not have their fans have to choose.
Yeah.
So they're smart about that. They try not to make schools play big games in the tournament at the same time. So I'm sure it would be kind of pushed back if South Range made it to the finals.
Well, let's say that 1 and 4 play tomorrow, 2 and 3 play on Saturday. We'll have a 10 in the morning? Was there game?
South Range was supposed to play at 10 in the morning.
Okay, so let's say they play 10 in the morning on Saturday at Firestone Stadium. Game's over by noon or somewhere thereabouts. All right, if you have the regional championship game at Massillon, which is 30, 40 minutes away from Akron, give or take a few minutes, you have that game at 2 in the afternoon. Well, there's plenty of time for the Raider fan base watching the softball game to scoot over to Massillon, and plenty of time to watch the baseball game. Hell, you could probably get some lunch and still have plenty of time to get over there and watch South Range play a regional championship game in baseball, assuming they get past Gilmore Academy tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be, because Massillon really isn't that far from Firestone Stadium.
It's like 30 minutes, somewhere thereabouts.
And then, if you wanted to go watch one of the other games, I don't know why. But if you even Canton, I think depending where you are in Canton, it's only like 15 or 20 minutes away from Akron too.
Yeah,
Firestone Stadium, because we go to Sonic Drive-In, which is in North Canton. After
way to plug that company.
Yeah, we go for the softball, but we stay for the Sonic.
Oh wow, they're the new spokesman for Sonic, but they don't have the blizzards like DQ does.
Last time I went, they didn't have the cream slushes anymore, which was like the saddest day in history. Like, I love the cream slushes.
Is it better than the DQ blizzards?
No. Well, it depends. I mean, it's better than some blizzards because some DQ blizzards are not fan.
Dairy Queen had my attention.
Shocker.
When I heard yesterday that they have the Girl Scout Thin Mint cookies and they're putting them in the blizzard. I'm like, that is a winner.
That, or they might make a Lorna Doone blizzard just for Ron.
Oh hell! Then I gained 50 pounds overnight. Good Lord! But as much as I love Lorna Doones, and I do love Lorna Doones, Girl Scout Thin Mint cookies are on a completely different level.
Ron would go to the Dairy Queen and just be like, "Yes, I want all the blizzards you have." No, I don't think you heard me. You heard, get a lot of blizzards. What I said was,
I'm draining your vanilla ice cream, and I'm draining all of your Thin Mints.
Ron pulls Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. What I said was, give me all the blizzard mix you have.
We're taking your entire inventory of Thin Mint cookies, crumple them up. Your entire inventory of vanilla ice cream, make it happen. Let's go.
Here's my card. Whatever. Take my money. Whatever it takes.
Thin Mint cookies. Here's Lorna Doones. Thin Mint cookies are way up here.
I've never been a fan of mint stuff. I don't like peppermint patties. I don't like mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Okay.
Mint, this doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, but Thin Mint cookies are, good Lord, they're good. They're very addictive. Those damn Girl Scout cookies have those two.
They know what they're doing.
Two really nice, smaller now. Thank you very much. Smaller little.
It's like they want you to buy more of them, so they make them addictive.
Absolutely, they do.
Huh.
Yeah, absolutely they do. That's those are
Kind of shifty business are the Girl Scouts cookie, right?
Well, yeah, that's exactly. What kind of shifty business is this, actually? Now, Thin Mint cookies, they're a cut above. That's. And then when I heard DQ saying, "Oh, we got Thin Mint Blizzards," I'm like,
So we can confirm that the softball game's getting moved. We're waiting for confirmation on the time.
Yeah.
So when we get that, we'll pass it around.
It certainly looks as if the OHSAA is going to be playing state championship games on a Sunday because of what Mother Nature did today.
And I don't think there are any parochial schools that. Well, who's Wheelersburg playing?
That's a good question.
It's like a Saint something, isn't it?
Hang on a second. Well, actually, let's take a timeout first, pay some bills, and then we'll get to the softball state semifinals and go from there. But I mean, even if we have parochial schools,
they might say we can't play on a Sunday.
No, please, you can go to church on Saturday.
You've said you don't like teams playing on Sunday.
Well, no, I mean if you have to play on Sunday, I mean it is what it is.
I don't know if this had anything to. I just this is an assumption of mine, but the regional final between South Range and Ursuline was scheduled for Saturday, and they jumped to Monday when West Branch jumped to Sunday at Firestone Stadium. So there might have been a reason why. I mean, this, once again, not confirmed. Just Ursuline might have said we would rather not play on a Sunday. It might have happened. So the whoever Wheelersburg is playing, I feel like it's a Saint team.
Wheelersburg is playing Sherwood Fairview.
No, Sherwood. So
yeah, that's
all
a public
school, so they should be fine playing on Sunday.
Yeah, that's an all public school in D3.
Because we're all heathens. We'll play on a Sunday.
Wow.
The heathens.
Yeah.
Red-blooded heathens. My God, Kim, they're practicing barbarism down there.
It's a good time for a break. Oh, Lord. Okay, we'll take a timeout on the other
little
side.
Star Trek throwing out.
Oh, yeah.
Pop culture.
Yeah. Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor. We'll take a timeout, be back with more. Stick around.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy efficient expert, MP Vivo, today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
"60 years ago, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods began with 3 siblings, a hand-set sawmill, and a few local orders. And while business has certainly changed over the years, what has not are our principles of hard work, craftsmanship, and commitment to quality. At Baird Brothers, we're proud to put our name on the products we create, from moldings and doors to flooring and lumber. Thank you for 60 great years. We look forward to 60 more. Baird Brothers, for the place you love."
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
This is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of pre-owned vehicles. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your pre-owned vehicle and much more. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their pre-owned vehicle at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition, a very soggy Thursday edition of Running Points. All of our tournament baseball games have been postponed, so we've got a busy day on Friday ahead.
And it kind of exposes the downside of playing the back-to-back days, because now there are no rain days in between, and with teams that have to, we were talking off the air, teams that have to travel to get to these games are kind of in a funky situation. We were talking about Johnstown, who's playing South Range. They're scheduled to leave Johnstown tonight at 4:45 and then stay the night tonight and play tomorrow because they're all the way down in Dayton. I don't know if they're still going to come tonight, if they're going to rebook their hotel, if they're going to now say that we were going to stay on Friday night, even though they could have stayed on Friday night anyway if they won that game. There's a lot of logistics that are going to have to be moved around by a bunch of different. Even JFK. That's almost a hour and a half drive.
Oh, from Warren to the south to the west end of Cleveland. Yeah, it's about an hour and change.
So if that's a drive there. Oh, there's no baseball drive. That's 3 hours of drive.
And that's probably the reason why you get them banged really, really early. Say, look, there's no chance we're going to be able to play this game. We have to cancel this game early enough so the schools furthest away don't make that journey. Now, the downside, as you mentioned, Johnstown's in the Dayton area. They were set to spend the night tonight. So now you got to call the hotel up and say, okay, our games got canceled. Do you have the same rooms for tomorrow night?
And it's not like you just need, like you're just a family of four that just needs one.
You have a large number of rooms because you figure two kids are going to be sharing a room.
You have to tell them we might need those rooms Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah. So it's tough. It's really, really difficult.
We may or may not be here on Saturday night.
Yeah, and I think the hotel people understand, the teams that are really far away.
Right.
They're gonna be saying, look, if we get eliminated, we're out of here. We're not gonna be using the hotels. If we get eliminated that day, we're not gonna spend the night here. We're just gonna drive back home because no athletic booster is not gonna sit back and go, oh, by all means, spend the night there and then take $5,000 of our money.
Take the spa day. You guys, you've earned it.
Yeah. And no athletic booster company is going to sit back and say, oh, yeah, we'll pay the $5,000 for the hotel. Sure. Why not? So you got to be flexible. And one of the reasons why it works in Akron, the hotel industry, they're used to this, especially the hotel that's the official hotel for the visiting club that comes into Canal Park to take on the Rubber Ducks. They're used to having, that stuff happen.
Before this year, Firestone hosted the MAC tournament.
Yep.
In softball, which is the same deal. You come in for I think it's like a Thursday to Sunday affair, but if you get eliminated Thursday, you're not there anymore. But if you win on Thursday, you stay. So I'm sure the Akron hotels are very used to what's going on right now.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why you want to have this kind of an event in your city is the money that comes into your city for that weekend is pretty amazing. You have these, what would it be, 16 teams, because the semifinals and the finals. So a grand total of 16 teams, and I'll guarantee all of them, with the exception of maybe one school, are going to be a drive from Akron. You're not going to see an Akron City school very often, or an Akron parochial school in the state semifinals.
I know Division I, Lakota West is in it, and they're all the way down towards Cincinnati.
Yep.
So they're going to be staying the night too.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go through the state semifinals. Division I, White House, Anthony Wayne. That's in the Dayton area. Petzkala Watkins Memorial. That's in the southwestern portion of the state, if I'm not mistaken. Westchester Lakota West is in the Cincinnati area. Massillon Perry. Okay, Massillon within shouting distance of Akron. But three of those teams that we just mentioned
probably staying the night in Akron.
Are spending the night. That means cha-ching hotel money. Cha-ching, everyone's going to be getting something to eat. The area restaurants are going to be busy. So, yeah, and that's Division Division I. Go to Division II. The four teams that are left: Hebron Lakewood, a ways away from Akron. Worcester Triway, right about an hour away.
That's probably close enough.
Yeah, probably won't stay the night. LaGrange Keystone.
LaGrange is up towards Cleveland. That's probably close enough, too.
Okay. New Concord, John Glenn is in Amish country.
That's going to be at night.
And that'll be spending the night. I think it's a 2-hour drive.
Right.
So that's, that solid right there. Division III, South Range. Would they spend the night there?
No, I think they were going to leave tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So I think it's close enough to not spend the night.
Johnstown.
Yeah, we are.
You're spending the night. They're in the Dayton area. Sherwood, Fairview, I believe they're in the
they're in Sherwood Forest with Robin Hood, right?
and Wheelersburg is on the Ohio-Kentucky border.
Right,
so they're definitely spending the night. And that's Division III, and then Division IV. Cuyahoga Heights is in all likelihood going to be
probably the closest.
Right next door. New Regal, Bradford. I believe they're both spending the night. Newark Catholic is in the Columbus area.
Yeah,
they're probably spending the night.
And they probably have the money to spend the night.
Yeah. So it's, again, you get a lot of these people spending money, whether it be hotel or restaurants.
There's a good bet the families are too, because
absolutely,
especially the sophomores and freshmen, parents are not really comfortable saying, "Go 4 hours away and spend the night without me." Like, they'll go spend the night too. So you're getting not just the team, but the family members and the fans, and it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So the economy in Akron is going to get a little boost. And the next weekend it'll get another little boost when the state semifinals happen in baseball.
Right.
So it's always cool to have an event like that in your town. I know when the Ohio County MAC state championships years and years and years ago, when the B League used to be involved with the AABC, and they had the state Connie Mac tournaments where 30 some odd teams would be partaking in a double elimination tournament. Oh my goodness, the hotels in this area were booked. The restaurants were booked. The area had a lot of money coming in on that. Well, it's now replaced with the NABF World Series, and I believe Youngstown is going to be the home for all three, if I'm not mistaken. The 14, 16, and 18U NABF World Series are going to be in Youngstown. That's going to be some serious money.
Right.
That's going to be some serious money.
Which is why it hurt so bad to not have it last year.
Absolutely. That's going to be some good money coming into the area because all these people from out of town and out of state, they're going to want to eat somewhere. They're going to need to rest their head somewhere. They're going to need to fill their gas tanks up somewhere. It's always good to have the area have a tournament with that kind of stature. And it's pretty cool for Northeastern Ohio to have.
The one thing about rain is it does not do anything for track people.
No.
And there are send-offs in the valley for the track runners that are making their way down to Columbus for their track meets. I know the 4x100 team for Valley Christian just had their send-off about 10 minutes ago. Tyrone Lindsay, Philip Spradley, Quayne Austin, and Brandon Page is the 4x100 team, and then Brandon Page also competing in the 100-meter dash. So Monica Perkins, the head coach of the Valley Christian track team, congratulations on all your hard work and sending you off to Columbus, and a bunch of other runners that are probably on their way there today too.
Yeah, we have a area state track qualifiers and a long list of athletes, both boys and girls, that are going to be taking place. By the way, for the first time ever, or at least in a long, long time, the three districts, or the three divisions, I beg your pardon, are going to be held in three different locations. D1 will be at Hilliard Darby High School. D2 will be at Pickerington North High School. And D3 will be at Westerville North High School, all outside of Columbus.
Normally they're all in Pickerington, right?
No, they're all at Jesse Owens Stadium in Columbus. And they're all going on at the same time.
I've been to Pickerington before for basketball, and that's you talk about a facility.
Yeah.
Pickerington High School.
Yeah,
that's a facility.
No doubt. There's plenty of qualifiers in the state. We'll get to all of those athletes during the 3 hours here. We're with you till 3 o'clock. Again, lots of baseball canceled. It's going to back up everything a day, and oh boy, are we going to be busy tomorrow. By the way, speaking of tomorrow, Youngstown State University head football coach Doug Phillips will be in studio tomorrow, and we'll talk some YSU football with the head football coach of the Penguins, Doug Phillips, tomorrow during the Friday edition of Running Point. He'll be in studio, and hopefully we can take some phone calls as well. Let's run through the list of people, starting in Division 1, then we'll take a break. Division 1, Austintown Fitch, the boys, Jameer Robinson will be throwing the discus as well as the shot put. Nate Leskovac from Fitch will be taking part in the high jump. Jaden Lay in the 400-meter relay.
By the way, Nate, sorry to interrupt you, but Nate Leskovac, there's a reason he's a good wide receiver.
Yeah, the high jump.
He's a state qualifier.
Yeah, he jumps high in the air, and he catches the ball. Go figure. Donnie Ellis in the 400-meter relay, as well as Dan Evans and Brody Herman. So congratulations and best of luck to Fitch's boys track team. As far as the girls go, Kristen Yeager will be running in the 1,600-meter. Madison Bucko is in the 400-meter relay. She is joined by Kenzie Chine, Savannah Jones, and Jenna Rogers. So best of luck to the Fitch track program and those that have made it to the state championships. Boardman Cameron Thompson will be running in the 100-meter dash as well as taking part in the 400-meter relay. Logan Thompson is going to be running the 300 hurdles. Jonah Baccio is going to be throwing the shot put. Ben Vivarico, Jesus, Ron. In the 400-meter relay, who else is in there? Trey DiPietro is in the 400-meter relay, and Anthony Hightower is in the 400-meter relay. That's Boardman's representation.
By the way, to make it, this is every sport. This is kind of becoming a trend. to make it in Division I, to qualify for states in Division I in track events. So good.
Top 4 in the district, top 4 in the regionals.
Congratulations to everyone that made it to state, because there's a lot of, oh my gosh, D1 talent in every sport, and track and field is no different.
Yeah. Reagan Berkey is going to be running the 800-meter dash for Boardman, and Gia Treveri is going to be running the 300 hurdles.
Keep an eye on Berkey. One of her last races of her Boardman career is going to be going to run for Bowling Green in the future, a D1 track star. So I expect big things from her in her state run.
Yeah, no doubt. Warren Harding is going to have Nevaeh Parisi taking part in the long jump from Warren Harding. Canfield boys, Nick Plant will be running in the 800-meter dash, and Oliver Kovas will be doing the long jump. And from Howland, Courtney Clark is throwing the shot put, and Madison Sluster is going to be doing the high jump. So congratulations. Those are the D1 athletes that are going to be taking part. And I think I mispronounced Madison's name, Seusler, in the high jump. Madison Seusler will be doing the high jump for the Howland girls track team. So congratulations to the D1 athletes. They're going to be taking part at Hilliard Darby High School just outside of Columbus. So that's D1. We're going to take a timeout because we got D2 and D3. My goodness, we have a crap load of D3 athletes in the state track and field that will be held. Both the boys and girls events are going to be held at Westerville North High School. A lot of D2 athletes and just a ridiculous amount of D3 athletes qualifying in the state track and field this weekend in the Columbus area. Again, D1 will be at Hilliard Darby, D2 at Pickerington North High School, and D3 will be at Westerville North High School. The price of admission for the track and field is $15 for everyone.
Same for softball, too.
Yeah.
But $15 gets you into all 4 semifinal games.
So. There you go. That's a good thing. We'll take a timeout. On the other side, we'll get to the D2 and D3 track and field athletes. Stick around. It's a Thursday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit WRSWealthAdvisors.com. Good luck, athletes!
Every customer has a story, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we go the extra mile for you.
By finding you the right vehicle at the right price.
By giving you confidence in your vehicle with the Greenwood Advantage warranty.
By guaranteeing you financing,
regardless of your situation or credit history.
And by being with you for every mile of your journey.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we do whatever it takes to go the extra mile. So, how can we go the extra mile for you?
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
For heating, cooling, and indoor air quality, the Mahoning Valley trusts MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning, offering worry-free repair, service, and installation. Call MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. We're your energy efficient experts.
If you're looking for a new Ford vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of new Ford models. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your new Ford. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their new Ford at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
Welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point. Ron Potesta with you alongside Anthony Hartwig. All right, let's run through the Division II athletes that are going to be taking part in the track and field state championships over at Pickerington North High School, just outside of Columbus. Poland is going to have the following kids taking part.
Before we do that, we do have now confirmation on this softball new schedule. So here's what the first Division I semifinal was suspended in the middle of the middle of the second inning today. So that game will be resumed tomorrow at 10, and then they will play Friday at 10, 12:30, and their championship game in Division I will be Sunday at 10 a.m. for Division I. Bradford versus New Regal will be Friday at 3. Cuyahoga Heights versus Newark Catholic will be Friday at 5:30. Their championship game will be Sunday at 1 p.m. That's Division 4. For Division 3, now Sherwood Fairview versus Wheelersburg will be the first game of the day on Saturday. They will play at 10 a.m. South Range versus Johnstown will be at 12:30. Their championship game will be Sunday at 4. And then in Division 2, Lakewood and Sherwood will play Saturday at 3, and Keystone and John Glenn will play Saturday at 5:30. Their championship game is Sunday at 7. So that is the breakdown of the schedule changes for the softball tournament. Once again, South Range Johnstown moved to Saturday at 12:30.
Okay.
This is on the OHSA website.
So Saturday at 12:30, that would tell me that the South Range regional championship game in boys baseball would be probably 5 o'clock, because they want to be able to have both.
If South Range were to win.
If South Range were to win, you would probably have that game at 5 o'clock, because you don't want to. You certainly do not want to have both programs playing at the same time. So, yeah, that would be interesting.
So, that's the update for the softball schedule. And now, Ron, you can continue with the runners in track that are going to be on their way to Columbus for the state track meet.
All right, so let's go to the state track meet, Division II. Logan Flement will be doing the 3,200-meter run. He will also be taking part in the 3,200-meter relay. Along with Logan will be Andrew Biggs, Noah Huda, and Mason Matista. That's your 3,200-meter relay team. And Logan Flement doing the 3,200-meter run. So that's the Poland's representation. Hallie Seabest is running the 3,200-meter run. Jackie Grisdale qualified for the 800-meter run.
Shocker.
Yeah, and Mia Mussolino is qualifying for the 200-meter dash. So best of luck to those three Poland track stars.
And it's Mussolino, not Mussolini.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank the world.
Yeah.
You don't want that last name going through life.
The other vowel, the O vowel instead of the I vowel, because nobody wants to be named Mussolini. That's bad juju in Italy. That's not good. Clancy Crystal will be doing the 110-meter hurdles for the Ursuline boys. Niles girls, Shantae Klingscale. Boy, is she talented. She is going to be running in the 100 as well as the 200-meter dash. Congratulations to Shantae Klingscale. All right, you're going to have to help me out with South Range's athlete. Michael, is it Vistos?
Vistos, yeah.
Vistos? Okay, he's running in the 800-meter dash. Best of luck to him. Gerard has two male athletes. Dominic Melito is doing the long jump. Ricky Marcico is going to be running the 800-meter dash. All right, so that'll be outstanding. The Gerard girls, Ciesha Triplet. Boy, this is pretty solid. She's going to be in the 100, 200, and she'll be taking part in the 400-meter relay. Mia Melito is going to be taking part in the high jump, and she'll also be part of the 400-meter relay team, along with Sehan Didi and Melina Serrano.
Yeah, Sehan Dede is one of the other athletes in our area that does softball and track like Jackie Grisdale does. She's the leadoff hitter for their softball team that went to the district semifinals and now running in state as a runner.
Looking forward to that.
It boggles my mind how athletes are able to do both. Like, it's enough time management to just do one sport in a season. But when you're doing softball and you run track at the same time, it's like you got to focus on making sure you're in shape for track, and then focus on making sure you're doing everything right for softball. And you have both coaches and both kind of teammates the same amount of kind of commitment. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what they're able to do. If you're playing two sports at the same time in the spring, that's nothing short of spectacular. Lakeview will have Charles Pulaski throwing the shot put. Dinesha Mazzi will be taking part in the 400-meter relay for the Lakeview girls. Joining her will be Kylie Mattiotti, Eliza Farr, and Stacia Hall. So best of luck to the quartet of ladies in the 4x100-meter relay for Lakeview. Kaylee Gagne from Champion will be doing the long jump. West Branch girls will be represented. Sophia Gregory running the 400-meter dash as well as taking part in the 800-meter relay, along with Anna Lippiet, Kennedy Berger, and Lauren Gossett. So congratulations to them. Jax Booth from Salem is in the long jump, and the girls will be represented by Carly Hall, who will be running the 1,600-meter run and taking part in the 3,200-meter relay. Kyla Jameson will be throwing both the discus and the shot put. Elizabeth Shantz will be throwing the shot put. The 3,200-meter relay team will be, as we mentioned, Carly Hall, Haley Cochran, Ella Double, and Megan Stafford. So congratulations to the D2 athletes.
Now it's the long list of D3.
Yeah, now we go D3. There is a really good chance McDonald wins a state championship for both boys and girls. There is an outstanding chance that this happens. Here is what McDonald has as qualifying for their incredible track and field program. Brody Roop will be running the 1,600 as well as the 800-meter run, and he'll be taking part in the 1,600 and 3,200-meter relay. Greg Dixon will be running in the 800-meter. He'll also be taking part in the 1,600 and 3,200-meter relay team, as well as the 800-meter relay team. Ryan Henry will be throwing the discus as well as the shot put. Caleb Dimitrovich will be running the 3,200-meter run, as well as taking part in the 3,200-meter relay. Dante Mattiati will be throwing the discus. Eli Street will be taking part in the 3,200-meter relay. Brian Fisher will be taking part in the 1,600-meter relay. Michael Wallachak will be taking part in the 1,600-meter relay. Dominic Carquito, Dominic Shadle, and Nathan Gilligan will be taking part in the 800-meter relay. There is a really good chance McDonald wins a state championship
It's not a
in
shock.
track and field.
McDonald has had a phenomenal track program for years.
Yeah, this is...
And to hear that many names in the McDonald program getting to state, not a surprise at all.
And it's an embarrassment of riches for the girls as well. Naomi Dimitrovich will take part in the 300-meter hurdles, the 100-meter hurdles, and the 1,600-meter relay, as well as the 800-meter relay. Imagine, if you will, if she wins all
four. You were the top four in the region in all of those. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's mind-numbing. Lillian Capozello will be part of the 800, 3,200. I'm sorry. She'll be running the 800-meter dash. She'll be part of the 800, 1,600, and 3,200-meter relay teams. Megan Hipple will be running the 3,200 meters and taking part in the 3,200-meter relay team. Melinda Brown will be running the 100 and taking part in the 800-meter relay team. Brooke Lewis will be taking part in the 800 as well as the 1,600-meter relay. Chloe Dean will be taking part in the 3,200-meter relay. Mariah Bregar will be running in the 3,200-meter relay, and Bria Roop will be running in the 1,600-meter relay. You have an 800, 1,600, and 3,200-meter relay. Oh, by the way, you also have someone running in the 300 and 100 hurdles. McDonald girls have a pretty solid chance of winning a state championship as well. Keep in mind, both teams won the district, and they both won the regional championships.
And then
yikes!
Some of those names were a part of the McDonald girls basketball team that went to the state championship too.
And some of those boys were on the McDonald boys team that went pretty damn far in the football program.
And had a pretty good record and went pretty far on the basketball side as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Valley Christian will be represented. Brandon Page will take part in the 100-meter dash. He is also going to probably run anchor in the 400-meter relay, which includes Brandon Page, Tyrone Lindsay, Kwani Austin, and Phillips Bradley. Springfield.
What a name.
Yeah.
Phillips Bradley.
Yeah.
You better be athletic.
Yeah.
You are.
You think? Springfield boys. Collison Cortez will be throwing both the discus as well as the shot put. Here's a name that sounds familiar. This Brungard kid. Bo Brungard. The name rings a bell. It's something like something about him and playing football.
I sense a presence, one I haven't felt since. Pop culture reference. Hopefully you get it.
I find your lack of.
Well, if that quote didn't get you, then Ron.
I find your lack of faith in the Force highly disturbing. Bo Brungard will be running the 300 hurdles, and he'll also be running the 800-meter relay. Dante Argyro will be running in the 800-meter relay and also running in the 400-meter relay. Clayton Nesbeth, there's another name that sounds familiar, 800-meter relay, 400-meter relay. Austin Tyndall, there's another name that sounds familiar, 800-meter relay, 400-meter relay. Bo Snyder, 400-meter relay. For the girls, Haley McCalla throwing the discus. Kylie Kosick. She'll take part in the 400-meter relay along with Bella Brown, Mary Grace, and Ava Vecchione. best of luck to the Springfield
By the way, if you
contingent.
I just got a text from Paul Munson. If you were wondering why South Range got flipped to the 12:30 game, their graduation is at 10 o'clock on Saturday. So obviously they wanted to make room for people to attend that graduation and then go down to the softball game. Obviously the softball players will have to probably get their diplomas on the field, but
yeah,
that's why they flipped.
Do you play pomp and circumstance on the field while they're getting ready for the state semifinals?
Your walk-up song is that.
Yeah, whenever you're hitting da 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 da. Wait a second, is the Macho Man Randy Savage coming out? No, it's just graduation.
It's just Brie Kohler. Might as well be the same thing.
Yeah, and then and if someone, please, someone will go, oh yeah, gonna grab my diploma and go out and win a ball game, kick some ass and take some names. Oh yeah, snap into a Slim Jim. All right, Brookfield. Good. I think I just pulled a muscle. Oh Lord, I hate when that happens. Brookfield, Hayden Gibson. God, I hate doing that. Hayden Gibson will be running in the 400-meter dash. Mineral Ridge, Nathan Kurjan will be running the 3,200-meter run. Randall Miller has qualified in the 110-meter hurdles. Western Reserve has one athlete, David Altier, will be running in the 110-meter hurdles. Lowellville has a 1,600-meter relay team, the boys. That includes Kenton Peterson, Giovanni Doherty, Vinny Ballone, and Jim Clinton. And for the girls, Sophia Yan will be running the 1,600-meter. Jesse Likens from Warren JFK is running in both the 100 as well as the 400. And Chloe Coates will represent JFK in the 100, 200, and 400-meter dash. That is a very difficult thing to do because those events are really bunched up close to each other where you got to be in ridiculously good shape to do all three of those events.
Got to be really well conditioned because there's not like a little break where you get to rest your legs or something.
Yeah, that's best of luck to Chloe Coates. If she can place in all three of those, oh my God, that's an amazing thing. Demi Watson, Liberty Girls, she'll represent Liberty in the 200-meter dash. Maplewood, the girls, 32 and 1,600-meter relay teams. Carly Richards will be in both of them. Let's do the 1,600-meter relay first. So you got Carly Richards, Emily Butler, Mabel Crouch, and Marissa Ventura will be in the 1,600-meter relay. Carly Richards, Kylie Sheely, Rihanna Rathburn, and Abigail Ney will be in the 3,200-meter relay. And Emily Butler will be running in the 800-meter. That is the Maplewood contingent. Badger, you have Kalina Jablonski will be performing in the long jump. She'll also be in the 1,600-meter relay along with Grace Popovich, Madison Rice, and Suzanne Schaefer. And Brooke Pallone will be in the 3,200-meter dash. All right, let's go to the phone lines real quick. You're on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. What's going on? Hello, that's you. Yeah, okay, they hung up. Yep, they hung up. Sebring, Anthony Calderon will be in the long jump. Best of luck to Anthony. The Columbiana contingent, Colin Schick, will be in the long jump. He is also going to be taking part in the 400 as well as the 1,600-meter relay. So is Xavier Cross, 400, 1,600-meter relay. So is Gabe Heinrich. And Caden Green will be in the 1,600-meter relay. Calby Buckfeld will be in the, or Buckheit, will be in the 400-meter relay. The girls, again, incredible that Julia Rapp is going to be in the 200, the 100, and the 400-meter relay. She will be joined in the 400-meter relay by Augusta Clark, Tommy Ross, and Alexis Stoy. Best of luck to the Clippers. The Crestview boys, Ethan Powell will be running in the 100 and the 200-meter dash.
He's fast, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Even with pads on in football.
He is quick. He's a quick one.
A quick one.
He's also taking part in the 400-meter relay, as well as William Hardenbrook, Noah Wickline, and Spencer Klein. And, oh, by the way, William Hardenbrook is a really good chance at being near the top of the podium in the 110-meter hurdles.
We talked about McDonald's track program, but Crestview's track program has also been phenomenal for years and years and years. So I'm not surprised to hear that they have a multitude of runners and throwers that are able to qualify for state.
Yeah. So those are the kids in Division III. It's it wouldn't surprise me if the McDonald boys, girls, or both win a state championship. It wouldn't surprise me if a lot of these kids get to the top of the podium. We've said it before.
Reagan Berkey has a really good chance.
Yeah. Year in, year out, this area has a really, really strong track and field presence. It just does. And unfortunately, it's not it's an ancillary sport compared to the big three.
I'll say, unfortunately, it's because we love we broadcast ancillary sports all the way up and down. I mean, we did swimming this year. We love volleyball. We love soccer. Track is a hard sport to broadcast without multiple cameras because you have to put you have one thing on the line or whatever it may be. We're trying to innovate ways in the years to come to give these athletes their due and their time in the sun. On YSN. They're not lost on us. We share everything that the schools post on social media. We make sure they get their attention, and we are working diligently to try to kind of innovate not just ways to broadcast, but also people that are knowledgeable in the track and field scene that can come in and broadcast those events and know the runners and know why they're succeeding so well, and they can really do them justice because we have too good of a track and field program in the area to just wing it.
And let's be honest, we're not like NBC, who has this long string where a camera will do basically a what would that be called when you zip line? Yeah. It's like the camera's doing a zip line across the 100-meter trail. We don't have those, obviously.
Ideally, I mean, it would be nice if we had one camera at the finish line and one overarching camera that just showed you this, and when they get to the finish, we go to the camera at the finish line. That would probably be beneficial or good enough. So we're trying. We're working hard to get that in the future because we're going to have more and more schools, which means more and more amazing track athletes that deserve just as much attention as all the other athletes do, because at the end of the day, they're doing the exact same thing. They're putting in the work, they're going to practice, doing the homework, so they deserve just as much of the accolades and the respect and the attention that every other athlete on YSN gets.
And look, I mean, obviously we are doing an awful lot of coverage for high school football, an awful lot of coverage for high school volleyball in the fall. We do an awful lot of coverage for boys and girls basketball. We do an awful lot of coverage for boys and girls, the boys baseball, girls softball. But we also understand, and one of the reasons why we love to name these athletes, look, yes, cross country and soccer, and we did do a lot of soccer this year.
We're doing more every year.
Absolutely.
We're still working on getting people, like I said, just like track, they can really bring their knowledge to that broadcast and not be guys that are just winging it, because we have two good soccer teams that deserve more than guys winging it in the booth.
Absolutely.
Working hard.
And boys and girls golf. I mean, I think Brian Tolnar would make an excellent color commentary for that, but it's difficult. But it's difficult to do golf. I mean, it's going to have
golf with one camera is
tough.
Pretty impossible.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to have multiple cameras, so it's very difficult to do. But golf is a sport that demands coverage, just like all the other high school sports.
Another thing that's gaining traction, and we are recognizing it, and we are starting to work on getting it in the future, is lacrosse.
Oh my God, that sport is great.
Don't worry, lacrosse is on the horizon of YSN, I guarantee.
Yeah, it's a sport, and I'm so glad it's finally starting to make some inroads. Some of the bigger schools are getting a lacrosse program together. I saw Boardman has one, Canfield has one, Cardinal Mooney has one. Looking forward to a lot more schools putting together a lacrosse program. That is such a big deal in upstate New York, eastern Pennsylvania, the New England area of the United States. Michigan has a huge presence of lacrosse as well. Somehow it missed us for the longest time, but we're finally starting to look at lacrosse. Bowling is another sport
We've done a lot of bowling.
that is becoming a big thing. To nobody's surprise, because when I was growing up in the 70s, we had bowling facilities all over the friggin' place in this area.
Bowling, and you know, it's going to help the excitement of bowling that the YSU team is doing so well, and
they got to the Final Four this year.
It's in the news, and it's like, ooh, I want to bowl. I want that bowling can be fun. We have a competitive team right in our backyard. I think that'll increase the likelihood that people might go into bowling.
Yeah, and one sport that
and bowling's easy.
Oh, that's
set up
easy.
One camera for all the lanes.
Exactly,
and that's why we've had several bowling matches from Struthers and Gerard and Niles and Lakeview and a lot of other bowling teams that have helped put on some really good bowling broadcasts.
One sport that went away for a little while is now starting to make somewhat of a comeback, although it's still not anywhere close to where it should be, is gymnastics. And that's another sport that is looking to find a niche.
Instead of I think it's going to take a dip because it has that black eye of what
unfortunately
of what USA Gymnastics went through, and
yeah,
people kind of pulled back the curtain on how that sport can be very dangerous, and the mentality of a gymnast, especially at the elite level, can really do some mental and physical damage to your body. So the USA Gymnastics situation kind of pulled back the curtain to that a little bit. So it's going to take a minute to. But I think once again they're going to have the Summer Olympics. Everyone loves watching the gymnastics on the Summer Olympics. It's probably one of their highest rated sports. And I anticipate it still will be, even with the USA situation.
How about the fact they're going to be doing it with no fans? Because of the fact that Japan is nowhere near where we are for COVID. And there's still word they may cancel the Summer Olympics. Nope. And I hope not. But
I really hope not, because it's softball in the Olympics for the first time since 2008. And it's not in the next one. And I feel like if they postpone another year, they'll just say no more Japan Olympics.
Yeah, it's.
And what Osaka said? Oh no, the tennis players, like Djokovic and Federer, said we'll play if there are no fans, but we're not going to play if there are fans.
Well, there's a really good chance now that they're just going to do the events with no fans.
The athletes are putting on a lot of pressure to say we don't want fans.
And you talk about losing a crap load of money. Japan is going to lose a ridiculous amount of money.
It costs a lot to put it on, and now you're not getting any.
You're not getting any of the income. You're not getting any of the.
That might just make Japan say, you know what, we can't do it.
Yeah,
which would be a shame.
You know, I have a really good friend that lives in Vancouver, and she curses the day that Vancouver hosted the Olympics. I said, "Why would you do that?" Didn't give us any money, and it was a pain in the ass for everyone that lived in Vancouver. Because you had to, you couldn't go into certain areas, and we wound up losing money because of all the rights fees that went along with the Olympics, and it's kind of tough. It's not like it was years and years and years ago when you had one city hosting it, and the winter and summer were the same year, and you had. Late winter, you would have the Winter Olympics, and early late summer, you'd have the Summer Olympics. Oh man, 1984. You knew, okay, Sarajevo, Yugoslavia would be the Winter Games. L.A., California would be the Summer Games, and everyone would look forward to it. Now you got the Winter Games 2 years in front of the Summer Games, and then 2 years later you got Summer Games. And it's staggered, and there's way too much money involved, and hardly anyone gets a profit now.
I like it staggered because then you don't have to wait 4 years for the next Olympics. You get it 2 years later.
Yeah.
But because then it keeps the top. One of the things I was always taught in college for the broadcasting is TOMA, top of mind awareness. No, everyone's going to be thinking about the Olympics after the next one because it's only 2 years away. Oh, winter's only 2 years away. Not, oh, it's 4 years away. I'm going to stop thinking about it for 2 years and then come back to it. Like, I feel like the support and the buy-in to Team USA probably stays more consistent with it being 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years.
Well, the Olympics that I'm looking forward to, and my goal is to attend the 25th Winter Olympics in Milan and Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italy, in the northern part of Italy, February the 6th through February the 22nd, 2026. That's the Italian Winter Olympics, and Torino is not too far away from where this Winter Olympics will take place. Yeah, Milan is. Oh yeah, sign me up. Nowhere near where my grandparents and where my father's side of the family comes from, because they're in the southern part of Italy. But still, just to go there and I call me crazy. I love the Olympics. At least the winter. I'm more of a Winter Olympics guy than I am a Summer Olympics guy.
I'm the opposite. There are more Summer Olympics games that I'll be interested to just watch than winter. Like, okay. I will sit and watch ping pong. Because ping pong is at that level is extremely fun to watch.
Oh, at ping pong in that level, you better have
they're standing like 3 feet behind the table. Bam, bam.
Yeah, you better have your head on a swivel.
Volleyball, love watching the beach and indoor. I watch them both.
Sure.
Basketball, softball now, gymnastics, and then in the winter, I watch curling like crazy. Like, my DVR is set for curling. I know people are like, this is so boring.
No, it's not boring.
You sit. If you don't watch it, it feels boring. But if you sit and you get, for some reason, one year I was locked in, I was like, I'm just going to watch it.
Yeah.
You get like, let's go.
Yeah, no, it's phenomenal.
You get into it. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, like, my brother was like, because I was like, that is, why can't we measure like that? That's a crap throw, I was getting into curling.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever.
Well, listen, for me, the Winter Olympics, it's all about curling.
See, I'm not like, you're a big hockey fan. I never really got into hockey.
All about the curling. It's all about the luge. I mean, people that do that, you got to have a couple screws loose in your brain to go on a contraption and go down a sheet of ice at 80 miles an hour. You got to be out of your damn mind to do something like that. The 2- and 4-man bobsled is ridiculous.
Can make them on.
And the 70 and 90 meter ski jump, again, you got to be out of your mind to go down a steep 70 meter, and at the end you have to jump in the air, and then you're suspended in the air doing one of these things.
Right.
And
then there's a freestyle that's like, just do whatever trick you want to do.
And then you got to do the downhill. Mm-hmm. Downhill skiing is, again, you got to have a screw loose to do something that crazy.
Yeah, the slalom, it looks like it hurts because you're constantly running into those poles.
Oh, yeah.
It's like...
Yeah. No, I absolutely love the Winter Olympics. It just... growing up, I think I was 11. Innsbruck had the 76 Winter Olympics. And they had a guy that was... somewhat of a favorite to win a medal, but they didn't know whether or not he was going to win a gold medal. Franz Klammer, he goes just this suicide mission on a downhill, and he looks like he's about ready to wipe out 2 times. He jumped like sideways where he was like this, and all of a sudden he lands on both skis, and the announcers are going crazy, going, how is he still on his feet? And he's able to get the gold medal. It's just, I was like, damn, sign me up. This is cool stuff. I'm like, this is, and then you get the figure skating, and especially when you have a made-for-TV event with Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. So it's
for Hollywood event.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I've met Tonya Harding, and she's batshit crazy. So it just made for a really great. I love the Winter Olympics. It is so cool to watch. Yeah, that's just some good stuff.
I'm watching. If you ever notice, every now and then I'll be. The College World Series for softball starts It started 2 hours ago.
You made mention of something a couple of days ago, how UCLA got absolutely destroyed in one of their best of 3 games. Now, they won the series 2-1.
Right.
But they got destroyed in game 1 of their Super Series.
Virginia Tech came in and handed it to them 7-2.
Yeah.
They made 5 errors. I think they were just overlooking Virginia Tech a little bit. But James Madison, who is the darling of the tournament this year, unranked, they beat Tennessee in the regional, and then they beat Missouri in the super regional.
Wow.
They're tied with Oklahoma, who's the number 1 seed in the whole tournament, and they're going into extras. So James Madison came to play.
James Madison out of the Colonial Athletic Conference. Or the Colonial Athletic Association.
Harrisburg, Virginia? No. It's an H city name in Virginia. I want to say Harrisburg, but I think I'm wrong.
That's a good question. We got to look into that. All right, 330-886-0813. We're back in a bit. It's a Thursday edition of Running Point presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we go the extra mile for you.
By finding you the right vehicle at the right price.
And by being with you for every mile of your journey.
Visit greenwoodchevrolet.com and tell us how we can go the extra mile for you.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Bad credit, no problem. I can get you approved for a low-interest loan and maybe even a low-payment lease on a new car at the #1 Chevy dealership in Trumbull County for 3 years in a row. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved or come see me, Tony Page, to get a new vehicle today. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Jimmy Sutton here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Hey, welcome back to a Thursday edition of Running Point. I just caught a story in The Athletic. Just when you thought it was safe to go into to football, here comes another member of the Manning family.
Oh, yeah. His nephew.
Arch Manning, who is the grandson of Archie Manning. Yep. This one belongs to Cooper.
Yeah, this is Cooper Manning's son.
Yeah. So this is
the less athletic of the three.
Well, he was supposed to be the best of the three, and he never panned out for whatever reason. But apparently, he was at LSU's annual 7-on-7 passing camp, and this is the invite only for some of the better kids in Louisiana. And by the way, Louisiana high school football is right there. It's pretty impressive.
Up there with the Atlanta metro area.
Yeah, there's some good football in the South, and Louisiana has some really good high school football. Apparently, he put on an absolute clinic in the LSU 7-on-7
James
drills.
Madison just hit a home run. They're leading number 1 Oklahoma 4-3.
Is this a double elimination tournament?
It is for the World Series, yes, just like baseball. But I mean, if
you put them
number 1 Oklahoma loses the first game of the day, and
now you got to win at least 5 games.
This is shocking. I didn't think anyone would even compete with Oklahoma this year. The way they
wonder if Oklahoma is going to finally say, "Can we wake up out of this bad dream quickly enough to get ourselves out of this and wind up winning the game?" Look,
we'll see.
This is the reason why I love high school and collegiate sports.
There's no place like sports. So taking that from ESPN, I wish I would have thought of that because that's such a brilliant tagline.
It is the truth.
When sports were coming back and they were like, "There's no that commercial always gives me chills." When they're like, "Where else can you?" And it brings up all these like great moments in sports. There's no place. I was like,
"There's no place like sports."
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
So simple, but so powerful.
No, it's true, and maybe not so much in the pro ranks. I mean, it's the pros. We kind of look at it and it's more to be expected than anything else. There's something special about high school and college.
Right.
Maybe it's because the guys don't get paid, or at least in the college aspect, you don't see them getting paid.
I think it's the energy of college. There's energy, but like they're playing specifically for the most part, other than like the high basketball and the high football, they're playing just for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Period.
Because you're not.
They might get drafted, but unless you're elite of the elite, you're playing just strictly because you love the sport and you love the competition.
Yeah.
And James Madison, and that's why women's sports, in my opinion, is so amazing in college because there's almost no pro opportunities for them.
Oh, of course not. I mean, softball is there's a league in Europe, I guess.
There is a professional league called Athletes Unlimited. They drafted 21 players this year.
Okay.
So 21 seniors are going to play professionally, and then you could also sign with USSSA or go to Team USA. Those are pretty much the only American options. So maybe And Team USA actually took a couple of people that got drafted by the league. So maybe 25, 30 softball seniors are going on to play softball professionally in America. Now you go overseas, Japan pays softball players like crazy. Like softball in Japan is nuts. But you also work for a company down there. So like when you're not playing softball, you work for a car dealership. Because I have a lot of friends that went to play in Japan. So you play for their team, and they pay you money, but it's a caveat because they also pay you to work.
Now, define the work. I mean, because some of these guys that get summer jobs, they don't really work.
It's your like
You're shaking hands with people.
You're in the office. You're doing office things. You're helping out in the car dealership or whatever it may be. Whoever owns the team, they're paying you to be the team on the team sponsored team, but they're also paying you to come work for them in the off season.
One would think, if you have that job, hey, we have a get together with some of our big wigs. We're going to need you there because you're essentially a big draw for those people. That's why a
lot of basketball players will go play in Europe for women because over there they're treated like superstars.
Oh yeah,
like they'll have promotional things that deal, and here the WNBA is.
It's never taken off.
Yeah,
it's disappointing.
It's just they're not treated like superstars. They're a little bit more now. It's on ESPN now.
Yeah,
it's gaining a little bit of traction, but it's just. You read the comments on the ESPN post for WNBA, and it's like,
yeah,
it's just I would go play in Europe.
I think the problem is everyone looks at the NBA product and then they're like, oh well, this is the bar.
Right.
Well, wait a second. There's a big difference between male and female. You can't have the bar way up here because it's not realistic to have the bar way up here in terms of I think there's a legitimate argument if there's an unconscious kind of rubbing with the idea that women can make a living as an athlete because they get support for college. Like college women's basketball gets crowds, gets sponsors, whatever it may be. Oh, sure.
Softball, they had to upgrade their stadium because there's double decks. They hold almost 5,000 people now in there's World Series. But then there's this disconnect when it's professional, and there's the argument to be made that the society has this little ceiling that means seeing a woman make a living in sports.
Well, look at our industry.
Is this kind of
yeah?
It's not quite. It doesn't sit right with some people.
Yeah, look at our industry. How many people in our industry are making gigantic coin? Who are play-by-play broadcasters?
Right.
You can count on one hand. It's embarrassing, unfortunately, but hopefully things get a little bit better. But to your point, Europe doesn't have. I mean, okay, they have the soccer, which in England, which everyone goes gaga over. But in terms of the, there's not a quote unquote big time basketball or big time football, or they don't even have football over there. They have soccer, which is their version of football.
There are some countries where the women's teams are just better than the men's because they don't have a men's basketball program.
Exactly.
So that's why they get treated by superstars because they're the only show in town.
Exactly. And I think that if you're good enough, the WNBA it's wonderful, but it's never. Whatever reason.
It works out that a lot of players, because the seasons are at different times, will go play a season in WNBA and then go play in Europe after WNBA. So they're playing all year long.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily subscribe to for that for anybody because that's a tough life. But you got to have some time off.
When you do that and you're still making 2% of what a professional basketball player for the male makes. You play it just because you love the game.
Well, sure.
That's what I think is so pure about women's sports.
Yeah, it's a tough life.
There's one woman in a team sport in America that has made $1 million contract, and that's Monica Abbott for softball. She was the first woman to be given $1 million contract for a team sport.
Well, there were plenty of women that got endorsements that were well over it.
But the team signed her for $1 million.
Yeah, but I remember distinctly the '99 women's soccer team that won the World Cup, and I was busy in the Texas-Louisiana League, and I think I was in I think it was on the Texas-Mexico border when they won the World Cup, and then years later, Mia Hamm married Nomar Garcia-Parra, and Nomar was a member of the Chicago Cubs. He had just been traded from the Boston Red Sox, and he hurt himself early in the season, and he rehabbed, spent 5 days in rehab with AA West 10 while we were home. And they had just gotten married, and Mia Hamm was with Nomar on the trip. And the whole thing was, okay, we have to hide Mia Hamm because she wants everything to be about her husband and not about her, because she was still a gigantic sports star, to where she wanted to make it all about Nomar and not about her. So I raised my hand at a team meeting and I said, look, I'm not saying this because it's something that would benefit, I'm saying this basically because it would benefit our program, and oh, by the way, she would be sitting next to me, but nobody bothers me in my broadcasts. As a matter of fact, I have the door locked, so you can put her in the booth next to me. And everyone kind of like gave me a side glance, and the general manager looked at me and he said, as much as I hate the idea, it makes sense. So Mia Hamm was next to me, and I was broadcasting Nomar Garcia-Parra's rehab games with his wife sitting right next to me. And the in-between inning conversations that we had during the breaks, off the charts. I was like, okay, so how did you pick up the game of soccer? Well, my grandfather lived in Italy, and he taught us the game. And I caught the game really early, and okay. And we just started talking about how great the '99 team was. How was it put together? What kind of an upbringing did you have with soccer? And oh my God, it was phenomenal.
Right now in America, women's soccer is head and shoulders above men's soccer.
Yeah, because they win. Our male soccer team sucks.
They suck, and the development of men's soccer is down. Not a lot of colleges have men's soccer teams. You see a lot of colleges have women's soccer teams. So that's one of the things that women's sports has going for them. Big for softball this weekend, we got a game on ABC, and it was the first college softball game ever to be put on network television.
There you go.
And it got really good ratings, which is good going forward.
Look, I think that it's women's sports are making the trend upward.
We're getting there.
And it's long overdue.
You just got to keep remembering, like, we're getting there. We're making progress. We're not where we want to be, but we're getting there. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, hopefully we get to the point in time where when a female broadcaster is doing a game, it's not going to be, I wonder how she got there instead of,
Because, Jessica Mendoza got into Sunday Night Baseball, and for the first couple months, people were like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. She doesn't know anything about it. But then they're like, oh, she's good. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Beth Mowins got to call a lot of Cubs games this year because they needed a replacement. She does a lot of stuff for ESPN. So we're starting to see it. Beth Mowins did a Monday Night Football game in the first week when they do 2 Monday Night Football games.
Yep.
She does the second one.
Yep.
So we're starting to see it.
Yeah, look, I kind of, if the broadcaster is good, I don't care if the person's male or female, as long as the broadcaster is good, the game's entertaining, and she's on point with everything that she says, I got no problems with it.
You know what, ESPN, I know there's a lot of, they're not what they used to, but they put their money where their mouth is at with women's sports. If they know it's going to work for them, they're going to put their effort into it. I mean, we see it with the softball coverage. Every single softball tournament game was on an ESPN family of networks because they know it brings in ratings. So they're going to say, okay, and we don't care if it's a women's sport. It works for us. It works. It brings in the numbers. We're going to put it on. They're going to put the effort in to make it a good broadcast. So that way of thinking is phenomenal for the growth of the sports.
All right, 330-886-0813, the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline open for business. We'll take a time out, be back with more. Stick around. It's a Thursday edition of Running Points presented by Greenwood Chevrolet on Mahoning Avenue in Austintown.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
This is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, why shop anywhere else but Tri-State Ford? Choose from our great selection of pre-owned vehicles. Plus, we've got you covered with our exclusive Tri-State Ford Advantage. It includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty with your pre-owned vehicle and much more. Come see why so many customers from the Tri-State area buy their pre-owned vehicle at Tri-State Ford.
Customer focus, community driven. Tri-State Ford East Liverpool or visit tristateford.net.
No matter what the weather, be prepared with a reliable, efficient Rude gas furnace or air conditioner from MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning. Call your energy efficient expert MP Vivo today for a free estimate.
Here at MP Vivo, we rely on Rude, and so should you.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Rain will come and go tomorrow. There'll be some dry intervals.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Years ago, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods began with 3 siblings, a hand-set sawmill, and a few local orders. And while business has certainly changed over the years, what has not are our principles of hard work, craftsmanship, and commitment to quality. At Baird Brothers, we're proud to put our name on the products we create, from moldings and doors to flooring and lumber. Thank you for 60 great years. We look forward to 60 more. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Anthony Hardwig about to lose his mind here on the Thursday edition of Running Points.
This is, I'm speechless. Like, the way Oklahoma looked in their super regionals, I was saying just give them the trophy now.
Yeah.
They made the statistically best pitcher in the country look pedestrian all weekend for their supers. Swept Washington easily. And here comes little engine that could, James Madison, and this is a pop out. They're going to win. James Madison beats Oklahoma in Game 1.
Welcome to the College Softball World Series. Number 1 has just been sent to the losers bracket. And in an 8-team double elimination tournament, you gotta win a whole lot of games.
4-3, 4 runs on 3 hits for James Madison.
Yeah.
3 runs on 6 hits, 2 errors for Oklahoma.
Holy smokes. I mean, I'm thinking in my head, they've immediately gone into the losers bracket. So there's 4 teams in the losers bracket. 4 teams will go into the winners bracket. So you gotta have at least 2 of the original 4 to get to 1, and then you still have teams that are going to be coming into the losers bracket for the next couple of days.
I'm pretty sure they have to win twice tomorrow now. They're going to play twice tomorrow.
Yeah, but I'm talking about winning total amount of games.
I think all the Game 1s are all that's going to happen today, but I think then tomorrow is the losers bracket games.
Yeah.
And then you would have to play the losers of the winner bracket game.
Yeah. So I'm thinking 6 games. You're going to have to win 6 games.
Mountain to climb.
Yeah, because you got to get out of the 4 teams that are left. So there's 2, 4-2, 2-1. And then there's 2 more because there's going to be 3 teams that are going to ultimately be in the losers bracket. So you got to do 2 more, so that's 4. And if you're the lone team left in the losers bracket, you would have to have gone through 4 games. And then you got to win 2 more games against the undefeated team to win the championship.
If you haven't won, James Madison pitcher is just unveiling herself to the world in Odyssey Alexander. She's pitched almost every inning for them in the tournament so far. And she just held one of maybe the best offense we've ever seen in softball to 3 runs. And it was just a 3-run home run.
Do you think that James Madison is a mid-major, so follow me on this logic. Do you think that YSU's head softball coach is looking at this and saying, you know what, if these kids can do this, this brings all kinds of hope for the rest of us mid-majors?
Every mid-major is watching James Madison right now and saying, parity in softball is real, and if we put together the right people, I mean, you got to get a pitcher that's probably fell through the cracks a little bit, like Odyssey Alexander.
Sure.
But YSU has that. I think Buffenbarger's a very quality pitcher. My word.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility for a mid-major to do the unthinkable.
James Madison is a program. This isn't like their first time ever in the. I mean, like they've been to Supers before. They've had a couple of successful programs. Never been to the College World Series. Never won a Super Regional, but they've got out of a couple of regionals. So they also has to be a program with some pedigree.
Okay.
But this has given hope to a lot of teams.
Yeah, and I know UIC has pretty much run the roost in the Horizon League.
UIC is probably watching this going, oh, okay.
Yeah, and they were the number 3 seed in the Horizon League tournament because they finished 3rd in the regular season, but that didn't deter them. They wound up winning the championship, but they were 2 and done in the regional tournament.
James Madison wasn't even the 2 seed in their region. They were the 3 seed in their regional.
Wow.
In Knoxville. Against the number 9 ranked Tennessee Volunteers. They beat out Tennessee, and then Tennessee got eliminated before the championship, so they beat Liberty to win that regional.
A couple of mid-majors for a regional championship. Who did they beat in the super regionals?
Missouri. 2 out of 3.
So they took down 2 Southeastern Conference schools en route to a College World Series for the first time, and I'm sure the mentality there is, by the way, now that we're here, we might as well have some fun.
By the way, they just beat the number 1 team in the country.
I don't think anybody could be looking at this team and saying, this is an easy win.
You win that game, there's no one else you don't think you can beat.
Exactly. You're just beating the number 1 team in the country. You might as well just sit back and say, if we play our game, we can beat anybody at this point.
You got to wonder how long this girl's arm will last. Like, she's a robot. She's pitched every inning except like 5 in this tournament run, and she just keeps doing it.
That's amazing. That's Good Lord, that's amazing.
You know, we went the whole show. We didn't even mention that Coach K is retiring after next season.
Yeah, and we didn't even mention the fact that Bob Baffert has been kicked out of Churchill Downs for 2 years.
You know, which is rightfully so, because we had a lot of local stuff to talk about, and of course this show, local comes first. But whether you know, Duke is kind of like the New York Yankees of college basketball. You either are a fan of them or you just downright hate them.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can argue the fact that Coach K has had a tremendous impact on the sport of basketball.
If a Duke player flops in the forest, is an offensive foul called?
If Dickie V's there.
Coach K, baby, why are you leaving? Why are you leaving?
Me, baby?
I was the server at Christ's Last Supper. I'm old. You're old. Stay, baby.
I was surprised. Did you see that Geico commercial where he lifts the whole?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was surprised he got it up. I was like, how's he doing this?
Yeah. It's awesome, baby. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, Coach K is leaving. That's and part of.
And not just Duke. I mean, he coached the USA team for a while.
Oh, yeah.
He might still be. I don't know if he is or not.
There's a small faction of people that thought Brad Stevens would be the new coach at Duke. Well, then yesterday, Brad Stevens was kicked upstairs when Danny Ainge said, "I've had enough of this," and Brad Stevens said, "Well, I'll be the president because I don't want to coach anymore." And look, I'll say something that's kind of somewhat unpopular. I didn't think Brad Stevens was that good of a coach in the NBA. I mean, he was good, but he wasn't that good. We'll see who they get for the Celtics.
I guarantee his replacement is going to be someone that has been under him or one of his assistants. I don't think they're going to. When Pat Summitt left, they went right to her bench.
Yeah.
You really try not to go outside.
Oh, they've already made the hire. It's one of Krzyzewski's right-hand men.
Right.
Yeah.
So they've already made the hire.
They've already made the hire. Yeah.
Because he's in a coach this season, right?
Yes.
So they've made the hire a year. Like, you're going to be the...
Yeah. Hopefully this doesn't turn out like the Jay Leno and who was the dude? Conan O'Brien. Hopefully that doesn't turn out to be like that. Hey, see you in 5 years, Conan. And 5 years goes by. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to leave the chair. We're not going to do this. Oh, okay.
That's why Conan is now on TBS.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't turn out that way.
I don't like Conan that much, so I'm glad that he didn't replace Jay Leno.
Oh.
I think Jimmy Fallon's funnier.
Well, I thought, look, Fallon is, he's one of the best. There's no doubt.
And he's versatile. Like, he can do gags if he has to sing, or if he has to, So, I mean, he's not like a professional singer, but it's not like when he does a game with a singer that he has on the show, it's not like, oh my gosh, I can't even.
Yeah. No, he's good.
He's versatile.
He's good. Plus, he did a killer Trump impersonation, which is always a plus. Yeah.
People got so but SNL had someone that impersonated every president that.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was.
There are people whose only reason on SNL was because they represented the president.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Alec Baldwin had a revitalization of his career with that dead-on impersonation of Donald Trump.
Right.
I mean, that was incredible. Who was it? Jay Farrow did Barack Obama, and he did Barack Obama and nailed the part
people
to a T.
Impersonate people just impress me because I don't have any.
Phil Hartman did a perfect Bill Clinton.
I can't do any. I'm not good at that. So the Frank Caliendo guy that can do like 12 or 13 of them in one sitting.
That's incredible.
How are you doing that?
Yeah, that's incredible. You just shake your head and go, okay, that's beyond my world. It's the guy that does all the voices. Seth MacFarlane does all the voices with Family Guy. That's ridiculous how talented he is.
He's because aside from his comic genius, he can do the voiceovers, but he's also like a Broadway caliber singer.
Oh yeah,
and he writes all the music for Family Guy.
Yeah,
writes the scores.
I mean,
that's a savant right there.
Yeah,
say what you will about his comedy style, it's crude. He gets away with a lot, and then when he's not on TV, he gets away with even more.
Yeah,
but the guy's unreal,
obscenely talented. Really talented. Just crazy. Speaking of talented, lots of people that are talented on the Power Hour.
Yes.
Which is coming up next. Our rain delay, rain out version of Running Point is done.
A little bit more about the schedule changes.
Yes.
And they'll talk a lot more about the Player of the Year award winners that we announced earlier in the show. I'm sure they'll have different perspectives on each.
Indeed. I'll be back tomorrow, noon to 3. Anthony will be busy
Waiting
doing.
out the rain. Maybe I'll just go back up to Firestone and watch the.
You should.
D1 and D4.
D1 and D4. Go up there. Have a good time.
Maybe.
Enjoy it.
So the weather's going to be nice.
And maybe someone's going to pull a James Madison and upset a team like James Madison just did to Oklahoma.
That's what I'll be doing. I'll be watching the college.
There you go. All right. Power Hour is coming up next. Have a